Are always reliable. This team is back home for the first time in 6 weeks, and this place will be packed tonight.
I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. A brand new house along the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me who do you love?
This is Kyle Field, and you're watching SEC Saturday Night presented by T-Mobile. These teams first met in 1911, and I don't know if any matchup had this kind of drama. Number 15, Ole Miss, coming off of its first loss, and Texas A&M trying to salvage its season with a second-half run. Here's a look at the SEC West standings. A trip to Atlanta is still available for the Rebels, but they've got a tough sledding in the back half of their schedule. Meanwhile, A&M is trying to get above 500, treading water to try to make it to bowl eligibility. Lane Kiffin's squad coming off of its first loss of the season, outplayed in the final quarter and a third against LSU. And Lane telling us this week, we had issues. That was the first team we faced with elite personnel. They'll get another roster across from them in similar talent tonight in Texas A&M. And with that, welcome to Aggieland, everybody. Ole Miss is on the field. Texas A&M coming shortly. Tom, Jordan, Cole down on the field. Lane Kiffin's program has somehow operated in the shadows. He's not used to that, but with all the other drama in the league and here in Aggieland, they're just as good as anybody, it seems.
Absolutely. The hype train was so high, and then it fell off a cliff, losing to LSU. But I think we kind of need to reframe how we look at this football team. They were banged up against LSU. This is still a team that has everything in front of them in the SEC West.
So Lane takes the field a little bit behind his squad, and meanwhile in the opposite tunnel, Texas A&M ready here at Kyle Field. It is the longest amount of time between games since they built the third decks about 30 years ago. 6 weeks between home games for Texas A&M, and now a chance to return to the comforts of home. And with that, according to the Aggies, hopefully find some momentum. Jimbo Fisher leads Texas A&M on the field amongst great fanfare. Should be a crowd of about 100,000 here tonight. Ole Miss won the toss and elected to receive. Rebels will start with it, and we start with Cole and Jimbo.
Coach Fisher, what will your situation be at quarterback tonight?
Connor Wegman will start. I mean, Haynes is available, needed, and then we're going to go from there.
What do you expect to see from Connor early?
He had a great game. He had a great week of practice. I think he'll have a great game. I think he plays with a lot of poise. Really love him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so that's a change for Texas A&M. They've dealt with injuries at the quarterback position. This will be the first time A&M has started 3 quarterbacks in the same season since Kyler Murray was a freshman. That was a long time ago. Walk us through it. What's going through Connor Wegman's mind right now?
Well, he got some good experience at the end of last week in that game. So right now, he's thinking about his first 15 plays. This week, a lot was spent on find the concepts that he's most comfortable with. There's talent around Connor Wegman. He's a very talented quarterback, strong arm. He processes well pre and post snap. How can this offense and Jimbo Fisher best set him up to get in rhythm early in this game, to me, is most important.
And it's an offense that needs some improvement. A program overall suffering through a losing streak. Hold on, and off the field, 3-game losing streak, and 4 different players unavailable tonight for a violation of team rules. And Chris Marshall was played a lot of snaps last week against South Carolina. They can't afford to be without body.
Yeah, not at all. A big physical wide receiver. Obviously, Evan Stewart, Moose Muhammad have stepped up in the vacancy of Aniyah Smith, injured earlier in the season. They've done well, but yes, this young talent was hoping to get the momentum and continue it, but obviously no Chris Marshall and a couple other guys tonight, so they'll have to do without.
They had to revamp their offensive line last week. 3 previous starters out for the season with injuries. That was a major situation against South Carolina with 8 false start penalties. Should be a little easier sledding here at home. Lane Kiffin's squad has been on quite the run, sitting in the top 25 and comfortably for 25 consecutive weeks. It's the longest in about 10 years. Aggieland is rocking. Kyle Field is ready. Kate Davis will kick it off. Dayton Wade to receive. And we are underway in Aggieland, and a kick that sails through the back of the end zone. No question about the starter for Ole Miss. Jackson Dart, the USC transfer, has been the man after winning a quarterback battle with Luke Altmaier. He was the National High School Player of the Year in 2020, and he made 6 starts at USC. But when we talked to him this week, he was quick to point out this Ole Miss staff didn't know what I could do in the running game because I was hurt for 5 3/4 of those games. Yeah, he's not an elite runner from a speed perspective, but he is savvy, he is physical, and that needs to be a huge part of their game plan tonight. It's one of the best rushing attacks in all of football. Quinshon Judkins carried the load last week, and they start with an end around and Dayton Wade. And they're trying to find ways to take the load off Judkins. Zach Evans banged up with a knee injury. Ulysses Bentley IV has a hand injury. There's one way. Yeah, and this team didn't run the football well against LSU. Lowest output all year, but really they were short. Zach Evans was a big miss. He'll be back tonight, we expect. And so here's Judkins with his first touch, and that'll set up a 3rd and 1. Judkins was on the field for about 95% of Ole Miss's snaps. You know about their tempo, one of the quickest in the country. They'll go quick here. And Judkins picks up the first down. We'll take it to midfield on a 16-yard burst. Right, A&M just getting situated to the speed. It should be something they're very familiar with DJ Durkin, the former Ole Miss defensive coordinator, now at the reins at A&M. But it takes a few plays to get settled in with the speed. Both sides had to change their signals coming into this game, with Durkin spending 2 years on the staff. Judkins has a monster hole, and Ole Miss is marching 38 yards the last 2 carries for Judkins. Look at the block on the outside by Jaden Williams, the left tackle, just throwing Shamar Turner out of the way to open up a hole for Judkins. Ole Miss 3rd quickest in the country. Judkins again, and another huge hole. Cole, what can you tell us about the Rebels O-line?
They're physical, and you think with a tempo team that spreads it out a little bit of time, they wouldn't be a group of finishers and guys who like to get after it. Jake Thornton not going to let them be that kind of a group.
Judkins averaging 12 yards a carry early on, and he maybe got it. We'll see where the spot is exactly. And indeed a first down for Ole Miss, who has yet to put the ball in the air tonight. Lane Kiffin says common misconception, what we run, and it's got a lot of different elements to it, is primarily a run-based attack. And the numbers this year back that up. Dart to throw for the first time. Wide open. Touchdown Dayton Wade at Ole Miss. I'd say the script worked. Less than 2 minutes to score on a 7-play, 75-yard drive, 6 of them on the ground. Dart with his 12th touchdown pass of the season. And now Jonathan Cruz for the point after. So Ole Miss won the toss. Lane said, I want the offense on the field. And a team that's gotten off to quick starts does it again. Yeah, and it was the senior Damani Richardson getting lost in coverage. Ole Miss will send a lot at you. Dayton Wade on that one just snuck right by Damani Richardson. Right here, going to get a little wheel route. Damani Richardson is going to have eyes in the backfield on this running back right here. He needs to carry number 19 there. Dayton Wade doesn't. That's a blown coverage. And after run all the way down there, Ole Miss
with a big play action pass for a touchdown.
Interesting formation there, Jordan. Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver, lined up as an inline tight end to the right, the opposite side there. Now, they've seen him line up at H and come across with some split zone stuff, but that's the first time I've seen him with his hand in the date right next to the offensive tackle.
Well, there's a graphic suggesting that Ole Miss has been so great early on. Lane said this week, he said, you know, coaching acumen is overrated for the final 3 quarters. It's about the dudes then. But early on, if you've drawn something up good, you can take advantage in the first quarter, and that's what they've done. Devon Achane, the most dynamic players in the league, and therefore the country, set to return for A&M. Short kick from Cruz and the opposite way from the 15-yard line. And great coverage on Preston, and that's where the freshman Connor Wigman will come out. Some last words of encouragement, play calling from Jimbo Fisher.
Now we're going to learn a lot in this first, really 5 to 10 plays for Connor Wigman. What does Jimbo Fisher feel comfortable with him executing? Last week it was a lot of basic concepts, 3-by-1 formations, making things easy on him, splitting the field in half. Let's see how much development they've been able to squeeze in with a week to prepare.
8 of 15 for 91 yards in relief at South Carolina, and a quick hitter to Achane. So let's get to know Connor Wigman just a little bit. A flag at the end of the play. We'll address that in just one moment. Wigman, a freshman out of Bridgeland High School in Cypress, Texas. Not only a great quarterback, #1 in ESPN's 300, but also a fantastic baseball player. Originally planned to play for Jim Schlossnagle here for Texas A&M baseball program that went to the College World Series last year. Great hitter as a corner infielder, and a face mask against Ole Miss on that play is a 15-yard penalty. Achane will get another touch, this time on the ground, and he spurts free. Gain of 6.
Interesting to note here for Ole Miss as A&M used a little tempo. No Troy Brown, linebacker, in early in this game. Got banged up last week.
And now Achane on the outside this time, and he picks up 10. Brown had been bothered by a shoulder injury, then jammed it up, trying to force a fumble against LSU. A Tigers offense that went for 500 yards, including 258 on the ground, and the QB run really killed them.
Absolutely, and Kyrie Coleman will be in there. He's a much lighter linebacker, though, at about 210 pounds, so really changes what they need to be in front of him. Maybe a little heavier up front, being a little lighter at that linebacker position.
Play action, Wigman finds his tight end, Max Wright, and he rumbles down into the red zone on a gain of 31.
Boy, look at the safety fly down right here, and Wright's going to sneak past a couple good run plays and a gap scheme action there where they pull the backside guard. Really influenced the safety there and opened that pass play up.
Achane picks up a couple, 2nd and 8 forthcoming. A major issue for A&M's offense, in addition to the lack of overall production, has been turnovers. Last 3 games they've given it away 7 times, and they've thrown at least 1 interception in every one of those games. Their offense in the SEC has featured the fewest plays and the most punts.
And I love what they're doing early on, though, the tempo for Connor Wigman. Simplify the game plan. Let tempo also simplify the defensive plan. Make it easier on your true freshman quarterback.
Ernest Crownover and his fullback out of the eye. Here's Achane. He takes it for a pickup of 7 with Crownover, whose brother is an offensive lineman, leading the way.
Boy, this A&M offensive line really banged up. They just announced this week 3 guys out for the year. Same lineup as last week, but I tell you what, they are physical and getting a ton of really good push here early in this game.
Achane into the teeth of the Ole Miss defense. It's enough for a first down. It will set up 1st and goal from the 2. Right, let's see the spot. And now the head linesman is saying he was short by a half a yard. And in fact, short by a full yard. 4th and 1. Offense is still on the field. Jimbo getting the play call in.
Ole Miss subbing in. A little more beef up front there. A&M counters. They have a fullback in the game. Ernest Crownover.
Only the 6th time all year they've gone for it on 4th down. They're 2 of 5. And they got the personnel wrong, and they got to run on Demetrius Crownover to try to get heavy at the last minute. And so a lot of issues going on at that moment. It started with a poor spot, ended up with a timeout. Back to Aggie Land in a moment. Jimbo Fisher's going to leave the offense on the field. That's a lot of trust in a freshman quarterback.
Absolutely love it, though. You just watched Ole Miss march all the way down the field like a hot knife through butter. You got 1 yard to set the tempo, set the mindset early in this game. I think you do it. That's the right call.
You just saying that because you missed the rolls at Republic
maybe
Friday night? A-Chain is the running back.
I don't love being in gun, though.
Fourth and 1 to extend the opening drive to throw. Touchdown, Texas A&M. Wegman hooks up with Moose Muhammad. So that's why you're in gun. Fourth down decision pays off.
How about that for some trust in your true freshman quarterback, huh?
Randy Bond, point after. Well, buckle up. Might be a fun one tonight. Both teams have scored. And each is opening possession.
Boy, watch the hard run action. How it affects everybody in the box. Even the backside safety rolling over. And you get the slant route one-on-one. And a great job by Wigman selling the run and then putting it right on the body of Moose Muhammad. You don't want to lead a guy too much and then you want to hit him right in the numbers. Great accurate throw by a true freshman quarterback on a 4th down early in this game. First start of his career. Love to see the trust there that Jimbo had in Connor.
And the first touchdown pass for young Connor Wigman coming on a 4th down.
And I spoke to quarterback coach Damian Craig before the game. I said, what do you think you want to call for Wigman early to get him comfortable? Damian looked at me and he said, Cole, he had such a good week of practice. I don't care what they call. I think he's going to be good handling anything that we give him tonight.
And by all accounts, Haynes King was severely limited in practice this week with a shoulder injury against South Carolina, though Jimbo did say he's available. We did not witness him throw a single pass in warm-ups tonight. So Wigman would have got a lot of run throughout the week of game prep. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State.
Or that last drive for this A&M defense just really didn't have any firm edges. Didn't have contain on this Ole Miss run game. Now they're back to a 4-man front. They had a 3-man front last drive. I think that's the smart move.
Here's Zach Evans getting an early touch. No knee brace on, and he goes for 10, and they'll go quickly to the ball. This Ole Miss attack 3rd in the country behind Army and Air Force in rushing yards.
And it's just so different with number 6 in there as the 1-2 punch to Quinshon Judkins.
Right back to him, and another huge hole. And A&M gives up another first down run. Evans slow getting up, though.
Sorry, Tom. This is the look Lane Kiffin told me on the field before the game where they would switch things up. More 4 wide receiver sets, trying to loosen the box of A&M's defense.
Late sub, they're going to run Judkins on when Evans got up gimpy. He had a huge knee brace on in the LSU game, and A&M allowed to answer. So back to Judkins, and a flag thrown, but another huge run as it stands of 20 yards for Quinshon Judkins at a Pike Road High School in Alabama. This one coming back.
Holding offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Jeremy James. The right hand on the nameplate is what got him. On 1st and 17, it's Judkins again. And he is stood up by Chris Russell Jr. Picks up only 2.
That's what A&M's going to have to do. Their safeties, nickelbacks are all going to have to be really aggressive getting down to that second level in run support.
Lee Keith in motion, fake to him, and now they'll go to him. Backwards pass almost and incomplete.
And this is where you have to get Ole Miss to live. In the game against Auburn, when they ran the football effectively, only 3 total dropbacks where there wasn't a play action. They do not want to be a drop back pass team. Let's see if A&M can get after him.
No snap. Dart eludes the first. But gets taken down past the line of scrimmage. Picks up only 2. That'll bring up 4th down. And Lane's going to send the punting team out.
Boy, and it was Fadil Diggs working on left tackle Jaden Williams, and he's just going to win with an inside move. He's going to sell speed, jump inside, and Dart had no choice but to tuck that one and try to pick up any yards he could.
Moose Muhammad to return. Frazier Mazin, the Aussie, gets off a knuckleball. Muhammad will have a chance. And a flag on the return. 37-yard punt. Like a knockdown wedge from Mazin. You'll see the A&M offense back on the field in a moment. Matt Leffler is our referee. Nice easy ride over with him to the stadium before the game.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
So that'll back A&M up just a little bit. Connor Wigman directed a 77-yard drive and threw his first touchdown pass last time. Take a look holistically at A&M's offense after this.
Saturday night is presented by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC.
Happy Halloween weekend. Special thanks to Mick Burson from Waco, who's working on a mural here in Bryan, who helped us with getting our pumpkins ready for Halloween. It's pretty darn good. How about this one?
Whoa.
It's the best Colts hairline has ever looked.
My hair does not look good there. What is that? A little patchy.
We did dress as sportscasters for Halloween. Let's say you pulled yours off. Ish. So here's Devon A-Chain, and he's got a huge hole. While we're in commercial break, Jordan sarcastically asked, is anyone going to stop the run tonight? I think the answer is, we don't know.
No, and I think right now with Troy Brown actually back in the game, Ole Miss mentioned he's going to be on a little bit of a pitch count, hoping to get about 25 plays out of their star linebacker. See the former transfer from Central Michigan.
Fire up chips. A.J. Finley is on the field. He was hurt in the second half against LSU, out with a concussion, a pickup of 1. And it's easy to look at what LSU did to them offensively and say And LSU really found their stride. It should be mentioned that they were without two of their best defenders, Finley and Brown, in the second half of that game. And
Finley's so important in the run game. I mean, he's a guy that can play way over the top, and then he can screen down in the box, make tackles at the line of scrimmage. But right now, just getting pushed around by this A&M offensive line, which I didn't expect.
Offensive line had an adventure last week. 8 false start penalties in the den of Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. There's 3 yards for A-Chain. Jamon Gordon with the stop.
And this is where you wonder if Chris Partridge, defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, is going to start dialing up pressure. Right? Got to be careful with some pressures against the run. It can get you out of position, but he did mention he wanted to get after this true freshman quarterback, Connor Wigman, test him early, get some pressure on him, see how he responds here in 3rd and long. Let's see if he holds true to that promise. Sure looks like they're going to bring some pressure.
Wigman pressured, throws up his back foot, and it is caught by Muhammad. It's a gain of 17 on a hope and a prayer. Kyrie Coleman put him on his back.
This is such a good play by Connor Wigman. He's got a safety coming right up the pipe, and he knows his man beater a corner route by Moose Muhammad is out there somewhere. He just throws it up. My guy's going to make a play. That's a heck of a job, heck of a throw to just get that one off.
Wigman has started 4 for 4 in his first career start. Again, 5 for 5. This is Donovan Green. And he is slicing and dicing the Ole Miss defense to gain of 26.
Boy, Connor Wigman just looked to the sideline of Jimbo Fisher and was going, let's go fast. Come on, let's go. Give me another one. Kid is playing with a ton of confidence right now and seeing things really well.
It really whittles down the playbook, right? It's like the Cheesecake Factory menu, but you can only pick from the apps.
Yes.
Wigman again to the air. One-hand grab, Evan Stewart! Freshman to freshman and a 15-yard strike. And in one play, you see what the excitement of this program is all about, the promise of this fantastic freshman class.
We have been calling for offense on every TV show. Every A&M fan is probably sick of watching TV and hearing everybody say, where's the offense? What are they going to change? I tell you what, the change that needed to be made might have been Connor Wigman in there. They are playing with a ton of confidence around him. Not doing anything super different. The tempo, I think, has been a great element. It looks like they've simplified things a little bit, but he's just making great reads and accurate throws.
Randy Bond for the point after movement on the right side. When we visited with Jimbo Fisher late yesterday afternoon.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
I asked about the diversity of the offense and if it wasn't maybe a little bit complicated and tough to pick up. And in his Jimbo way, he just shrugged. Half the league runs it. You know, and everybody runs it in the pros. So it's the same thing I've been running for 30 years. It's not complicated. It's not that hard. Freshmen should be able to pick it up. Well, the play calling has been on point because no matter how complicated it may be, he has found something that works with Connor Wigman.
And Connor Wigman is seeing things pre-snap, pressures. He's distributing the football, and he's finding his playmakers. And Evan Stewart, one of the best in the country, with a crazy catch to get A&M back on the board.
Weekend. Northgate was an interesting sight last night. And so is his first quarter. What a start. More points than expected. It's been straight bananas. Missed you at Dixie Chicken last night. And A&M fans have missed a little bit of this. How about Jackson Dart?
Oh, I love, for starters, his ability to throw off platform. So talented. Doesn't matter if his feet are in the air, all the way to the left, off platform, sidearm, guy in his face. He can deliver it, and that's what this offense needs. But he's got to be careful when he doesn't need to be off platform. Sometimes he still throws without his feet aligned to the target. That's when some of those inaccuracies occur. When he's pushing the ball downfield, if his feet are more in line with where he's throwing, much more accurate. They don't need to be right in line, because he's talented enough to make some throws, but he can't always just lean on that off-platform throw. It was interesting talking to Lane Kiffin this week, though. He said this offense is built for a quarterback that can be a great shortstop.
Here's Quinshon Judkins. We saw that from Matt Corral, 2 yards for Judkins.
And what he means by that is sometimes this offense doesn't have an answer for a blitzer or a free runner. And that's when the quarterback has got to be able to hit a sidearm throw right to an RPO and just make something happen. That's what Jackson Dart can do.
Here's Judkins again, and he picks up a first down, and he's got more, and a hurdle into Aggie territory. 27-yard run for Judkins. He is turning into a superstar, one of the best rushing freshmen in all of college football. Judkins bottled up this time. He was a workhorse last week. 66 snaps of the 72 Ole Miss plays. Judkins was on the field, and Lane said, we cannot do that again. We've got to find ways to spell him. Zach Evans got a couple carries, but limped back off the field early on. So it's Judkins' number again, and this time no gain. Walter Nolan the stop.
Oh, and after a big run like we saw, that's when you would have loved to see Zach Evans come in to give him a spell. He's such a physical runner. Now Evans comes back in the game.
Shamar Stewart is the injured Aggie, and that will give Ole Miss a chance to regroup, looking at a 3rd and 9.
You mentioned Zach Evans, and he just came back into the game, but whether he's 100% or not, Lane Kiffin has got to continue to lean on Jackson Dart being a designed part of this running game.
Yeah.
He'll make the scramble plays, but they are really effective when they get the quarterback lead going, the quarterback counter going. A lot of the misdirection with Jackson Dart having the ability to keep the football, that can help them be dangerous even if they're banged up a little bit behind Quinshon Judkins.
We got a break here. Let's send it to the studio. Here's Dari.
All right, Tom, let's look at the road to the championship, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Of course, Tennessee has multiple championships in its sight. Hand off to Jalen Wright. That followed a 15-play touchdown drive, Tennessee's longest of the year. There's Wright into the end zone. 22-6. Volunteers just underway in the second against Kentucky, guys.
All right, Dari, thanks. Stewart off the field on his own power. What do you think about the sartorial decisions by the Tennessee equipment staff, the black unis?
I love them. They were wearing them, right? I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the game that's in front of us, Tom. Come on. But yes, the black unis are fire, as the kids would say.
They're down 9 for Ole Miss, 100,000 strong here at Kyle Field. Dart's going to try to run with it, and he picks it up just like you said. He suffered a torn meniscus in the first half of his first game at USC. He came back to play more. He said, but I'm a different player now. I was never really healthy then.
Yeah, that wasn't an element that Lane Kiffin thought he was really getting with Dart coming here, but it's sure been a weapon.
They fake the toss, now going deep and incomplete. Mingo, the intended receiver, and he just couldn't haul it in.
Boy, that is a great job by Jacoby Matthews, the true freshman. As soon as that ball hits Mingo's hands, he does what cornerbacks are taught, split the hands. Get your hand right in there, and does a great job of breaking that up. Otherwise, it probably would have been a touchdown.
We'll go with the sweep. Here's Wade, his second rush, and he stays on his feet. picks up 4. So doesn't seem like Evans is going to be able to be an every down back tonight. We haven't seen Bentley just yet. What kind of concern is Judkins' workload?
Oh, it is a concern because of how physical he runs the football, and Evans in there now, but with that left leg heavily braced.
And Wade goes down for no gain. That'll bring up 4th and 5. And the book is probably going to keep the offense on the field for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, the analytics will tell you, I think this one's a little bit of a toss-up, but feeling how A&M drove down the field, I agree with this one.
8 of 14 on 4th down this year. To the slant, and that is caught for the first down. Jonathan Mingo. Needed 5, got 6. Back to tempo for the Rebels. Evans. And that's 4 yards on first down. The rushing attack for Ole Miss living up to its reputation. 3rd in the country coming in. And Walter Nolan is injured again.
Or the second talented defensive lineman to go down for A&M. We saw Shamar Turner run off a few plays ago, and now Walter Nolan, their 5-star #1 recruit. Looked like he got drove into another player as he was falling back. They're going to see him right here. I think he gets engaged with the offensive lineman, and then as he gets drove here, yeah, right into 78 for Ole Miss there.
Well,
Shamar Turner, though, back on the field. Good to see after he went off a few plays ago.
This will be the 11th play of the drive. 23 plays already. Ole Miss has run it 18 times. A little misdirection. They go straight ahead, and Quinshon Judkins crawls for 4. DJ Durkin knows exactly what they're going to face with a lot of the window dressing from Ole Miss. On 3rd and 2, Judkins again, and he's stopped. Bryce Anderson came in to stop him. It's a loss of 1. And Ole Miss is going to stay on the field, try to get this play out quickly. Dart's got it in his hands. Bottled up and dropped. Loss of 3. It was Bryce Anderson coming in from his safety spot again. And a turnover on downs brings it into the first quarter. And an energized Aggie fan base as expected. Home for the first time in 6 weeks. And they provided a boost tonight.
Boy, Isaiah Rakes absolutely blew this play up. You're going to see they want to get a little hide route here, but watch Rakes come up the field, get right in the way of the receiver. Jackson Dart has nobody to throw the football to there. And this A&M D-line with the big answer.
Well, a good start has resulted in big wins for Jimbo Fisher as a head coach at Texas A&M. Undefeated when leading after the first quarter. And now they turn to Devon Achane. Achane in a foot race. And he gets tripped up by Sheem Young after a gain of 31. Did you expect this kind of offense tonight?
I did not, but again, there's nothing to that play. A little outside zone, great blocking on the outside by both tight ends, Donovan Green and Max Wright, but nothing special to that. This A&M team is just playing with a different energy right now.
Here's Achane again. And Achane stays on his feet and surges for a first down and a gain of 11. Coming in, Texas A&M had some of the ugliest offensive numbers in the SEC and therefore the country. And it was the cause of much of the criticism for this program as a whole. But Jimbo steadfastly stuck by his offense. And talking with both him and Daryl Dickey yesterday, Dickey, the offensive coordinator, said he's got great eyes for what this offense is. He's been coaching it for 30 years, so he can identify things that maybe others on staff don't see. And those rankings coming in, well earned, but crumple them up and throw them out so far tonight.
Hey, sometimes it just takes a different guy pulling the trigger at quarterback to change things up. You know what I mean? I mean, you can dial up and call the best play in the world. If the quarterback doesn't get it to the right guy accurately, not going to be a good play, and that's going to fall on the shoulders of the play caller. So right now, I don't know if much is different other than Connor Wigman's make some big-time throws.
And here he goes again down the sideline to Stewart. And knocked out at the last second by Miles Battle. Evan Stewart, one of the top-rated receivers in the recruiting class, a 5-star guy out of Frisco Liberty.
I mean, there is no babying Connor Wigman. They're taking shots when they have one-on-one matchups, and that's a matchup you love. Evan Stewart on Miles Battle there. Good ball, just really good coverage by Battle at 6'4". That's a guy that you're going to have to back shoulder that or win with a lot of speed. If he's tight and in phase, not going to win that one.
That was the first miss of the night for Wigman. Here's Achane. That'll set up fourth, almost 3. Already converted a fourth down for a touchdown, and offense will stay on the field. Jimbo may be thinking the lane on the other sideline is going to be a race to 50.
And Jimbo started flipping through those cards as soon as Achane went down.
I think they're going to run a play here. Yeah.
To the perimeter. Stewart immediately knocked down by A.J. Finley. Both teams have failed on a fourth down conversion. It's another turnover on downs, and the ball will be back with Ole Miss.
Little protection throw on the outside to Stewart, but Ole Miss all over that one, and they'll get the ball back.
From a jam-packed Kyle Field, welcome back to SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile. Astros just took a 2-0 lead in the first inning, and Jordy, this crowd erupted. Game 2 of the World Series tonight, just down the road. Here's Quinshon Judkins.
When that little play right there, that little toss pitch, there are so many things that this offense sets up off that. There's misdirection. There's the quarterback run off that. First time I've really seen it. That's a play that they start to build off of.
And 2nd and 7, Judkins bottled up. Cole, how's A&M been better against the run lately?
I think it's penetration. First thing that I've seen, they forced Quinshon Judkins to move off of his tracks. That play right there, swap, a really cool play that Ole Miss has run this year that I like, but you can't get it going if you don't have time in the backfield to be able to see where it's going to open up.
Dart forced to vacate the pocket and scrambles out of bounds for a gain of 2.
Oh, just really good coverage there by A&M. And interesting to note, have not seen Antonio Johnson out there. Their leading tackler. And right now a projected first-round draft pick. Haven't seen him on the back end. But with the way A&M is playing up front, they're being so disruptive. Ole Miss not able to get any push last couple drives between the tackles.
Mazin to punt it away. And Muhammad takes a fair catch. It's a 39-yard punt. Let's get to the studio. Dari.
All right, guys, you got to see this play by Tennessee's defense. Kentucky is threatening. Will Levis throws to the edge in a massive shot. Laid by the quarterback, picked off by Jawan Mitchell, and he takes it back to Kentucky territory. Tennessee defense coming up huge, guys.
Think it's loud on Rocky Top tonight?
Woo! Yeah, I think it is. Boy, how about that Tennessee defense?
Landon Wood. Hey, Cole, Jimbo told us a fast start was pivotal. How they done it?
Well, he said that was something he was going to emphasize, and he told us he actually switched up practice this week. They went straight to their team periods in the first few periods of practice, so got some ones versus ones, mimic game situations, potentially paying off tonight.
Wigman in his first start has A-Chain to lean on, and Devon A-Chain picks up 13, and he's already over 100 yards on just 13 carries, and we're barely into the second quarter.
What do you think about that, Jordan? I mean, no, you're not going to individual, you're not going to your Skelly, your 7-on-7, you're just going right into your team periods against the defense.
I love it. I mean, sometimes you can get, especially at this time of year, a little over halfway through, you can start to go through the motions early a little bit, right? And then you got to try to manufacture the intensity later when you get in a team. So I love just punching it in the face, getting it going early. And that translates to what they're doing right now.
Is that why you asked Cole for the smelling salts before we came up to the broadcast booth?
Absolutely. I don't mind, killing a few brain cells to wake up. God, that's what that does, though. You take that smelling salt, it just feels like you just burn your nostrils and your frontal lobe is now on fire. It doesn't feel like it's good for you, but it'll wake you up.
We got that going for us. A-Chain was just a yard short of 100 against South Carolina last week. Wigman finds Donovan Green. DeAndre Price to tackle. Gain of 6. It's the #1 recruiting class in the country coming into this year. Not only that, the stockpiling of talent over the years, top 5 classes each of the last 3 under head coach Jimbo Fisher, and that's what had people so excited for this season. #6 in the polls preseason, and then things started getting sideways. The team from Boone came to town. Going back to the I formation on 3rd and 1. Ole Miss stepped across, no flag, and A-Chain stopped short. Pardon me, that's Le'Veon Moss with his first carry. So 4th and about a foot. Certainly looked like number 3. The near side took a step across. Nick Constantino, one of the best in the country in hang time, on to punt it away for Texas A&M, which has a wonderful history of great punters. Trying to pull a Leckler here. That's a beauty. Watkins will take a fair catch, and he takes it at the 10. 46-yarder will be a long field for Jackson Dart and Ole Miss, trailing by a touchdown. Taking on a new definition now in the transfer portal era, and he's engineering with Juice by his side. The first stop was Dallas-Fort Worth, pick up a couple of running backs, Zach Evans from TCU, Ulysses Bentley from SMU, out to South Carolina to find a quarterback in Jackson Dart, and just kept cruising around the country. He wasn't shy about being open for business. Come to the SIP, he says.
No, and it was brilliant for the amount of production they lost on both sides of the ball, but losing their top 7 producers on offense, he went and plucked up as much talent as he could, and it's been amazing how quickly he was able to plug those guys in and be just as successful as, if not better, at times in certain areas than they were last year.
Backed up a little bit here, 90 yards to go. Jackson Dart, former National Player of the Year as a quarterback in Hayesville, Utah. And he'll keep it and rumble just a little bit. When Dart was given his recruiting pitch, he showed up to Oxford, met with Lane and offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. And he said, I sat down and they went through a 250-play presentation. And I asked him this week, well, of those 250 plays, what percentage do you think you guys have worked through? And he goes, man, surprising to me, we've run all of them to this point.
It gets a little overkill. Like to be back in driver's ed course. Like, hey, come on, do I need to see 250?
There's Weiss on the right side. History with Lane Kiffin. They were together at Alabama when Weiss was coming up. And then at Florida Atlantic. On 3rd and 4. Out of the backfield, incomplete. Looked like the ball surprised Zach Evans, and Damani Richardson letting him know about it.
A little swing route. Yeah, you can see Evans turned his head around real late there, and Damani Richardson all over it.
.39 career starts for the veteran Damani Richardson. Frazier Mazin averaging 43 yards a punt on the season. This is a big one. And they're going to fake it. They need 4, and Ole Miss gets it. There's an injured Aggie at the tail end of this play, but Ole Miss trying to seize momentum.
What an amazing fake they just ran. Actually snapped it to the up back, J.J. Pegues.
Yeah, who's a quarterback back in his Oxford High School days.
And a former tight end for Auburn as well. So he's very used to having the football in his hands, but also, boy, what a great disguise. You don't expect Big 89 sitting back there to take a direct snap as clean as that and pick up the first down. Look at this, right in the middle, right there.
But tough to bring him down, huh?
He's a load, man. 315 pounds. He was right around 300 pounds when he was playing tight end for Auburn. And I don't think I'd ever seen a man that big, that athletic. Bulked up a little bit playing defensive line here, but you can see he's still very familiar running the football.
You can look into the mind of a coach when they fake a punt. I mean, Lane goes for it on 4th a lot, but it doesn't seem like there's a heck of a lot of confidence in what Ole Miss has been doing defensively. We'll take another look at the spot. Tough to see when exactly the right knee was down, or if it was at the tail end of that run. Meanwhile, the injured Aggie is L.T. Overton, freshman out of the Atlanta area at a Milton High School, and he's helped off the field.
The ruling on the field is the ball carrier made the line to gain. The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, going to be looking at his knee when exactly it went down, but a brilliant fake punt, because not only do they have J.J. Pegues in there, a guy that's used to holding the football, but they also went a little muddle huddle, got to the line quick, so A&M wasn't quite lined up. They weren't firm in the middle, didn't have their call set either, so really caught them off guard.
Mickey Haddock is a replay official.
Yeah, see the little huddle, then they get to the line really quick. Watch A&M. Still trying to figure out, wait, where's our guy? Where are we lining up? And just not ready. You can see Pegues there as he's dragging a few guys. That knee comes down. See if we can pause it right. That right knee right. Ooh, yeah, see, did that knee right there, did it come down before he extends? Because right there looks like it's hovering a little bit, and the ball is really close. You see that? Does it come down before he extends? Does it come down right there, or did it stay up? I think it's still up right there.
Folks at home looking at their 60 inches probably have a better view than we do,
yes,
in all honesty.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is, even if the knee was down, then it's hard to see the ball placement.
Right.
And did it break the plane of the 20?
On the field stands. First down.
All right, so there's your answer. Well, what do you read into Lane Kiffin's mindset to fake a punt deep in their own territory?
I think it had a little bit to do with how the game's going, but I think it also had a lot to do with just studying that muddle huddle, how A&M lines up, how they wait until you're lined up to set their defense. And I think they saw an advantage there. If we can get to the ball quick, we can just go for it, whether we're way backed up or not.
Run heavy as they have been all season, but even more so tonight. And now Dart lets it go. And that's Mingo, and he's got it for a first down on a pickup of 24. 34th start of Jonathan Mingo's career tonight. He's 4th in the country in yards per catch. Dart keeping it. Mingo is blocker. And Cole, we're seeing Jonathan Mingo being forced almost into a tight end position because of the injuries they've had there.
He's actually lined up at tight end a couple of times tonight. Put his hand in the dirt next to the tackle. You'll see him at H, kind of lined up a little bit off the ball next to an offensive tackle. They just don't have the bodies to do it with experience. He's the biggest body receiver they have, so he has to fill that void.
Going tricky here. This would be a quarterback run all the way, and Dart gets popped, maybe picked up a yard. Jared Kerr wasn't fooled. Neither was Chris Russell. The polecat swinging gate, modified look.
It's like a Pee Wee League doing Oklahoma drill in practice, like just setting your guy up for failure almost.
Okay, Dent is the second quarterback in, not Luke Altmaier, which indicates it will probably be only one snap for Dent. A really good spring game for Ole Miss. 3rd and 8. And he will hand it off to Quinshon Judkins and makes everybody look good on a 15-yard run for a first down. Dart back in the game at quarterback. No gain, in fact, a loss of a yard. Cole, how important is that tight end position to what Charlie Weiss Jr. wants to do in this offense?
You talk to anybody who runs a branch of this offense off the trunk of the tree that is the Browse offense, they'll tell you the tight end allows you to be exactly who you want to be.
The versatility in many formations, and a lob incomplete, but a flag on the play. That's going to be a 15-yarder against A&M. Shamar Stewart dismayed. So is Regis.
On the offense, number 57, 10-yard penalty, 18-second down.
Well, there you go. It's Micah Pettis, the right tackle.
Yeah, right here on the right side of your screen, working on Shamar Stewart. Stewart wins here, and Pettis just doesn't let go. Almost thought maybe there was going to be a roughing the passer.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
what it looked like.
Yeah.
Especially based on A&M's reaction.
No, I think that was a good no call, though.
Second and 21. Dart's got a lot of room to run. And he stays on his feet. Lucky to keep the ball after it bounced on the turf. It's a gain of 19, and they'll go tempo.
The communication key on defense when you're defending an offense that goes this fast. DJ Durkin told us 26 and 27 allow us to do that in the secondary. That's Damani Richardson and Antonio Johnson. Guys, Antonio Johnson tried to give it a go tonight in warm-ups. Got a bit of a hamstring issue. Not available for Texas A&M tonight.
It's a tough loss for Johnson out of East St. Louis, Illinois. Regis is injured. That'll slow down Ole Miss. We'll be looking at a 3rd and 2 in a moment.
Okay, in studio, let's look at a couple of big-time ranked teams, folks. Number 4, Michigan was down to Michigan State, but Blake Corum touchdown puts them up 10-7 midway through the second. And then the second of the day, Hooker to Hyatt. Hyatt school record for touchdown catches in a season. Tennessee up 3 touches.
How does he not have an NIL deal with a hotel chain? Let's go. Judkins will move the chain again. Another Ole Miss first down. Started, or at least the drive continued, I should say, with the fake punt. This will be the 12th play of the drive. Mingo lined up. It's an inline tight end again. Dart, pocket collapses, and so does he. Taken down by McKinley Jackson.
Boy, McKinley Jackson got him at the end, but a great job by Shamar Turner as well, just whooping the right tackle. Got Dart to get on his heels, and McKinley Jackson finished him off.
Got Jackson back in the South Carolina game at a Lucedale, Mississippi, in George County High School. Second and Snook. Dart chased again. And his legs would provide a more manageable third down for the second time this drive. That was a 14-yard scramble.
Boy, just zero pocket. I mean, this A&M defensive line is living in the backfield right now. And similar story to Ole Miss and LSU. Dart was pressured on 41% of his dropbacks. They're going to need to give him some time. Although this is that area of the field where, because of the analytics, Ole Miss might run the football, knowing that if they get to a 4th and 1 or 2, it's a go zone.
Whoa, what a fantastic grab by Dayton Wade. And while it won't end up in a first down, may have saved a turnover. Tyreek Chappell and Bryce Anderson converged on him, a loss of 5.
Unbelievable catch, and you are right, that throw was backwards. If he doesn't catch this ball, it is on the ground as a fumble. Wow, unbelievable catch. I mean, for 0 yards, but saved a huge play and kept him in field goal range.
46-yard attempt for Jonathan Cruz. The game winner against Kentucky a few weeks ago was a huge win for Ole Miss. He drives this one through the uprights. Lane Kiffin went for it with a fake punt, converted it, and they end up putting 3 on the board to make it a 4-point game. Ole Miss trying to find some momentum in Aggie land.
Looking flat out spooky, you will see. Georgia, no problem with Florida. Rocket or tank? Let's say rocket. What do you see from A&M? It looks like a different team.
Last night, I said I don't know the level of interest that this A&M team has at this point.
They're interested.
Clearly, very interested.
Shot in the arm, and it was filled with Connor Wegman. He's the answer for them tonight.
Indeed.
I would never argue with Mr. Spikes, but it seems he is dead on with the impact that the freshman quarterback Connor Wigman has had. This fan base thirsty for a winner, especially with the expectations around this program, the support they get. In fact, let's take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Well, she came out of nowhere. Party's been raging. That guy is bold.
That guy parties. Chugging a soda? That is
going to win a burping contest at the tailgate.
Great fanny pack, though. Look at that thing. You could put a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Like what? What would you keep?
Like another Dr. Pepper? I don't know. You could yourself. That guy. He might skip leg day, but it don't matter.
That's why he wears the Wranglers. To the air, incomplete. And there's a flag. Wigman trying to find Muhammad. Finley had the coverage.
Are they going to get Finley for this trail arm? Yeah, see the right arm there, just up around the shoulder.
Pass interference on the defense, number 21. That's a spot foul. First down.
Had the game-sealing interception on a pick-6 against A&M last year. Finley making his 19th straight start tonight. First start for Connor Wigman, 8 of 9 for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. 9 of 10. Muhammad.
Boy, the ball just jumps out of his hand, huh? I mean, Haynes King had a good arm. Max Johnson probably had a little bit of average, below average arm. Connor Wigman.
I thought it was interesting. We were talking with Jimbo last week in South Carolina about his quarterback situation, and the comp he gave us was Dak Prescott.
For Wigman?
Yeah.
Interesting.
6'2", 215.
Dak was much more of a runner in college, a physical runner.
Yeah.
Everybody on the staff that works with the offense will tell you he's sneaky mobile, that he moves a lot better than you would imagine. Hadn't really set him up to show it off tonight, but they rave about the way that he can run, the way that he can move.
Boy, third and, was it 4 here? 3? A-Chain's got 113 yards already in this first half. I'd continue to lean on that O-line.
Late pressure, and they swing it out to A-Chain. He's got great blocking downfield from the freshman wide receiver Evan Stewart. Turns into a 14-yard catch and run.
Boy, blown coverage there. Two guys ran to the center of the field. No one went with A-Chain. This is a scenario for a true freshman quarterback that you see the clock, you look up, you go 2 minutes, man, we got to hurry, we got to hurry. You got so much time. You have 2 timeouts, 2 minutes, sometimes.
Or you just give it to A-Chain.
Yeah, I mean, I would continue to do that until Ole Miss proves that they're going to stop it. He's now got over 120 yards in the first half, and Ole Miss has been the story the last couple games. Getting up over 550 yards and 6 yards per carry the last 2 games, and that bad trend is continuing tonight.
Here's A-Chain again. Cole, with your eyes, how different does the left side of the A&M offensive line look tonight than what we saw last Saturday?
I just think it looks more confident, but I think part of that is the environment. Much more friendly environment for younger guys to be in. They're able to communicate more. Obviously, Jimbo's not going to go fast. They use tempo 2-3 plays, but they're able to get an understanding of what the look is. Ole Miss not moving around too much pre-snap. So I just feel like they look more comfortable, and there's more dedication to the run game.
Wigman forced from the pocket and lost his footing. Ball came out, thought it was obvious he was down, and indeed, far side had him down. It's a loss of 6. Got out over skis a little bit.
And pressure there by number 2, Cedric Johnson.
Takes its second time out of the half. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 111, please. 111, please.
Cedric Johnson been banged up. He played just 19 snaps against LSU, still had 2 sacks. He's dynamic.
Yeah, and that's one of the guys with A.J. Finley and Troy Brown that have been banged up, not in the lineup 100%. And Lane Kiffin said, Cedric Johnson is really the key to this defense. Like, he's the guy that makes it go. They're able to have a pass rush, not need to get so big on the outside and the interior when they have him out there, because he's good against the run as well. At 6'3", 265. But just, again, trying to get him up to that 25 play count for the game, and just haven't been able to do that the last couple weeks.
Johnson will come out here facing a 2nd and 16. Three-man rush. Wigman got tripped up again. It's a loss of 4.
This is one of those where you got a young quarterback just taking the layup throw on a 2nd down, setting yourself up. You're going to see a little stick route by the tight end right here. If he throws it right out of Donovan Green's break, he's got him. Just throw it right now. Put it on his chest, right? I know there's a defender outside, but he's got off coverage. Pick up 7-8 yards there. Get a more manageable 3rd.
Now 4-man rush and nearly picked. Muhammad kept it alive, and Finley came in late.
But again, just a teaching moment for a true freshman quarterback, really in his first live 2-minute drill, that, hey, we don't have to get it all in one throw. You're not going to get 6 points in that one throw when we call a play that's designed to get us 5 or 6, right? Just take the 5 or 6, set Jimbo up to get you in a more manageable 3rd down, and that's the conversation they're having right now.
Here's Constantino. And we got a flag. Too many men on the field for A&M. No big issue.
That probably helps him out. Get him a little better punt position, a little more field to work with.
12 men in the formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Thought they were allowed a 12th man.
That's a great point.
100,000 of them in here tonight.
It seems a little unfair when you think about it.
What an advantage.
Well, they're allowed 12 men. You're allowed 3 headsets. You've gone through 8 of them up here. It's folks, I'm dealing with a fashion diva. He just didn't like how the first 2 looked. Is that what it was?
That's right. It's all about the perfect fit and the sound. killed inside the 10. Speaking of sound and maneuvers coming up at the half, you can watch a live performance from the Fighting Texas Aggie Band on SEC Network Plus. You can start streaming now on the ESPN app. Get ready to go.
Well, what a great first half for A&M, though. 14 points, some missed opportunities as well, but this is a team that they have not scored more than 24 points against an FBS opponent in 371 days since last October 23rd. That's crazy. So this is a great start. Thinking about a true freshman quarterback, his first start. You got 14 points on the board.
Ole Miss happy to run it, and that will likely bring it in to the first half. Lane Kiffin's offense behind Jackson Dart ran 44 plays, and they kept it on the ground for 36 of them. Meanwhile, Connor Wegman, the third different starter for Texas A&M at the quarterback position this season, got off to a fantastic start, and he's 10 of 12 through the air for $119. The Aggies will get the ball to start the second half. Well, Jimbo Fisher's offense looking smooth, especially first couple possessions when they went really quick. Cole is standing by with Jimbo.
Coach Fisher, Connor Wigman looked confident to me early on. You look a little frustrated coming off. You feel good about his play so far?
I feel great. I'm not frustrated with him. Frustrated with our line. We missed a 3rd and 1 block. We turned a guard loose right up there, and we're going to gash it for a big play. Should have scored. Should have scored. Getting penetration on a 3-man rush. Should never had penetration. He's playing awesome. He's been awesome.
You tried to do some things during the week in practice to get that better start. Do you feel like that's responsible for how it's paid off?
We played fast early, but we got to play more consistent. We should have scored on all those drives. Missed that. We have the other situation. We have a missed signal on the other. We're moving the ball well. Just got to keep the poise and finish the drives.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, so A&M with a 4-point lead at the break. A lot to break down here and throughout the league, including Tennessee and Kentucky. Here's Dari Noka and friends.
All right, guys, thank you much as we welcome you into the region's halftime report. Good to have you along for this ride. How about Tennessee, Kentucky over on ESPN right now? What a scene on Rocky Top, folks. First quarter, Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt. How does he get so open 55 yards?
We have been talking about that. We're going to do some breakdowns on that.
Saturday night presented by T-Mobile. And a fantastic start for freshman quarterback Connor Wigman. A&M with a 14-10 advantage over Ole Miss. Wigman got off to a sensational start. He's 10 of 12 so far. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole's down on the field. You surprised by the momentum that he brought to the program?
Absolutely. I'm surprised at really how they've adapted a few things. The tempo they're playing with. The run game is huge, but really it starts with the offensive line. They've opened up holes for A-Chain, which has also opened up some of the play-action game for Connor Wigman, and he has hit it every single time he's had somebody open downfield. The big 4th down conversion for the touchdown. The throw down the sideline to Evan Stewart. The circus catch there. He has trusted his receivers, and even more so, Jimbo Fisher has trusted Connor Wigman implicitly.
And he trusted him on that big 4th down play. Get him his first passing touchdown when he hooked up with Moose Muhammad. Jalen Preston back with A-Chain. And this is Preston. Will take a fair catch. Moments ago, Cole caught up with Lane Kiffin.
195 rushing yards. Do you have to find balance in the second half?
Yeah, we got to throw the ball better with some play action and stuff, and we got to stop them on the other side.
Thanks, Coach.
Lizette and Lane's off and running. You know, Devon A-Chain has been off and running so far. He's got 124 yards. 6th time in his career. They are 5-0 when A-Chain goes for 120. That's a pretty good trend.
And really, it's a credit to the offensive line. I mean, we've talked about how banged up they have been up front. Back to last week, 3 guys out for the year, announced earlier this week. They've thrown it together, but they're playing at a high level tonight.
Bryce Foster, Aki Agumba, and Jordan Moko out for the year due to injury. Here's Moose Muhammad, makes a man miss. And he takes it into Ole Miss territory with a 31-yard pickup.
Nothing special there, just Little quick out route in the slot, and another missed tackle for Ole Miss. A trend that seems to be continuing as well.
Big issue for them the last couple of weeks. A-Chain was bottled up, and he gets hog-tied by Kyrie Coleman. Last 3 weeks, they're allowing 36 points a game and 448 yards. And the missed tackle's a real issue. You remember the footage that we saw from Chris Partridge in the coach's booth at the end of the Kentucky game where he jumped up and showed his belly?
Yes, I do.
Celebrating. It's hard to kind of burn in your retinas, isn't it? I asked Lane, I said, you talk with him? You'd say, hey, maybe we'll go with some, go with a T-shirt under that? He goes, man, I don't care if Chris Partridge wears a bikini to the game as long as we can get some stops. Incomplete. Maybe go Princess Leia for Halloween with the bikini look from Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, sure. That probably wouldn't go nearly as viral as the first one, or would it? Boy.
Hey, Lane must have thought he needed to change something up. He went from the powder blue to the white hoodie.
Yeah, you know, sometimes a little bad juju, got to switch things up.
3rd down, 11. Wigman steps up, got bounced and throws it incomplete. AJ Pegues able to collapse the pocket, and that left Wigman with a face full of sod.
Yeah, and at one point Wigman really wanted to step up and take off and run here up to the right, but you see Cedric Johnson right there, number 2, spying, and as well as JJ Pegues got in there. So that's a really good start for Ole Miss. Seems like they couldn't stop anything in the first half. To come out the big stop right away and give your offense a chance to get you back in this game.
False start. Not all 11 got set before the snap. It's 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Trying a little quick kick?
Yeah, that was odd.
It's the second time they've done that. You're the special teams guy. Why do you think they're doing that?
I didn't see that part on the tape.
Yeah, the coach's tape doesn't give you the start sometimes, you know, just right before the snap.
That's right. Nobody cares about special teams, huh? We got movement again.
False start. Offense, number 24. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
There was a play in the Alabama game where Will Anderson ran right by Connor Choate, 12th man, who's the long snapper for Texas A&M, and Choate got up with a huge smile on his face, as if to say, like, hey, man, you're going to be making millions. I can't block you when you get off on time, let alone when you go early. What a beautiful punt. A 48-yarder. And let's get down the field and Cole Kubelik.
Just going to show you how creative this Ole Miss rushing attack is. You'll see this offensive line is going to block zone to the left of the screen. Tight end's going to come across flat. Back's going to show counter and then come back. They call it swap. But watch these linebackers just completely take themselves out of the play. Jumping 2 gaps over. And then Zach Evans able to come back with that counter look off the track into zone blocking. It's one thing this offense does by using visual deception with tight ends going across. The back showing you a counter look. All different kind of things that can take you out of play.
A lot of movement. I do have a follow-up question, though, after this first down play by Ole Miss. And they'll run it with Judkins. I was a little distracted. Do you have the food menu from the Republic in your jacket pocket? What is that?
Oh, no, that's just my chart for the game.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could try to place an order if you needed to.
Call Wade, please. Let's get the Brussels and the fillets, and we'll be good to go.
Ahi tuna.
Thanks.
Tartar.
Yeah, can you go ahead and make that call, like now?
Sure.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of running in the second half. It might end sooner than we think.
2nd and 10. Judkins straight ahead, and he gets bottled up. Then wrestled to the ground, and Ole Miss is going to be looking at 3rd and long. And this place is going to get percolating here in a moment.
And again, not where Ole Miss wants to live. 3rd and longs. This passing attack is built off of play action. They're not meant to drop back and throw it like this.
From the end zone, Dart flush. Stays on his feet. Will scramble all the way past the 15 and pick up the first down.
Boy, I feel like this has been one of the better parts of their offense. especially their passing attack. Not much open downfield most of the night, but Dart's been able to make a couple plays with his athleticism.
Tried to use the Force. He's a big Star Wars fan. He would have appreciated the Princess Leia reference even if you didn't. We talked to him earlier this week. Cole asked him, well, then who would Lane Kiffin be in the Star Wars universe? He gave it a thought, and he goes, well, Yoda, obviously, especially the way he kind of focuses on working with one project at a time.
Wise is he.
See what you did. Judkins taken down. It's a loss of 1.
Well, it's the face paint, right? The face paint that Dart wears is after Anakin Skywalker.
That's right.
I think it mimics the scar, I believe. Yeah. I'm more of the old school Star Wars ones. I'm not up on the new ones yet. Anyways, 3rd and 9. Here we go.
Why'd you dress up as Jar Jar Binks last night?
Wow. There's a pull.
Man coverage on the outside, and flag coming. Tyreek Chappell was blanketed on Malik Heath.
Pass interference on the defense, number 7. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Tyreek Chappell is pointing at, because they're at the bottom of the screen here, and you watch a couple steps before the break. That's you can't do that. It's there's hand fighting going both ways, but a little too much from Chappell there.
Dart throws on the run and incomplete. Trying to find Jordan Watkins.
Tell you what, I think this Ole Miss rushing attack has got to get back to attacking the perimeter. A&M up front is really just dominating them between the tackles. A lot of penetration. Ole Miss is not able to move them. Early in this game, they got Dayton Wade involved a little bit. We're attacking the perimeter.
Saturday morning against the Mississippi bench. 2nd down.
They got to get back to that, because right now between the tackles, it's just not working.
The sideline warning was because some of the signalers who are dressed in very vibrant colors, got a Teletubby outfit on over there, were on the field sending their signals in. Dart on time to the edge, a pickup of 5. That'll set up 3rd down after the completion to Dayton Wade. Pressure coming. Incomplete. And there's a flag. Jalen Jones on Dayton Wade.
Pass interference on the defense. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
3 third-down conversions on this drive, 2 via pass interference and another with the Dart scramble.
Yeah, and this one here, Jones is going to hook him with his left hand right there. Yeah. I mean, it didn't look like much contact initially, but you can tell how it hindered the receiver's ability to reach out and get that ball. So Ole Miss bailed out there.
Looking for the wheel route. Got a step. Got a catch. Jonathan Mingo inside the 10. 56-yard gain.
Well, it's the same concept that they hit the big one earlier in the game to Dayton Wade. This time, Jonathan Mingo lined up at tight end on the wheel route. Lane Kiffin dialing up the mismatch.
Back to the ground game. Judkins powers his way down to the 1. And there's an injured Aggie after that play. Tyreek Chappell is the one on the field. And they're looking at his left knee.
Boy, and back to that big play by Mingo. Again, I said it was the exact same concept and on the exact same A&M defender, Jacoby Matthews. Number 14, just 2 pick routes really on the outside, and Mingo starts in that tight end position in the wheel route. Through all the traffic there is going to hold up Matthews, and that's really what opens it up. And then here Judkins on the next play. Physical run down inside the 2-yard line.
Tough to see where the injury on Chappelle may have occurred.
We go back to Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver for Ole Miss, the importance that he brings to this football team. Talked to Jake Thornton, the offensive line coach, before the game. He said he's the most unselfish player we have. He said you go back and look at that Vanderbilt game, sets a school record for receiving yards in the game. Next week against Auburn, did not have a catch. Said he was the first one in the locker room that wanted to celebrate with everybody, coming up telling the O-line what a great game they had. Now, like Tom, you mentioned earlier, they're asking him to play H-back, tight end. Said he'll do whatever we need him to do because he's that kind of a team player.
That Vandy performance was otherworldly. 9 catches for 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. Best receiving game in the FBS this year. The drive that had a 3rd and 11 at the Ole Miss 5 is now knocking on the door. This will be the 10th play of the drive.
A lot of confusion on the Ole Miss side.
Plenty of time on the play clock. Dart will operate out of the shotgun. Judkins, they got a hand on him in the backfield. McKinley Jackson, first man crashing through. Timing was off, especially with Mingo in motion. Quickly 3rd and goal. Mingo again. Dart, taken down. Flag on the play. Fidel Diggs got him, and Dart said he used my face mask to get me.
Boy, how unfortunate, because A&M did a great job here.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 5, half the distance, first down.
That is a 3rd penalty to lead for a first down for Ole Miss on this drive.
Yeah, and Ole Miss wanted to dial it up on a hide route to Jonathan Mingo there. The coverage was great. Dart was forced to step up in the pocket, and again, like you said, another penalty gives Ole Miss new life.
Here's Judkins trying to find some space, and he's short of the goal line. And Katie Hill, defensive lineman, in there as a fullback. Now they have Pegues as a fullback. Judkins stopped at the goal line. Andre White Jr. with the stop for A&M. 3rd and goal.
Again, the physicality of this defensive line for A&M has been dominating the game. And Ole Miss trying their best, but cannot move them right now. I expect this play here to get on the perimeter. Whether it's a little jet sweep or whether they get Dart on a play action on the edge.
In fact, they're doing just that. Wide open back in the end zone, and the catch made by Casey Kelly. They had an extra jumbo package in there with Pegues and Hill, a couple of defensive linemen, and they found the 3rd big in Casey Kelly.
Well, we saw Andre White make the play last time around. The play action's going to suck him up, and Kelly's going to sneak right behind him on a corner route.
6 offensive linemen plus the 2 defensive linemen in his fullbacks and the tight end.
We talk about eye candy. All you got to do is just grab those linebackers, second-level defenders' eyes for a second, and that's how the play action pass is so effective.
A 5-minute, 43-second drive. It featured multiple 3rd down conversions via penalty, and after 13 plays and 94 yards, Jackson Dart hooks up with Casey Kelly. Kelly's first touchdown of the year. And it's the Rebels back up front by 3.
Dari Noke in studio. Let's take a look at the 5-star play brought to you by Yellowwood. That Tennessee defense making a ton of 5-star plays. D'Amico Slaughter picking off Will Levis, who's thrown 3 interceptions. Tom Hart, I believe Tennessee is ready for Georgia.
Be careful what you wish for, because Georgia showed what they're capable of today.
That is a shocking one. I really thought Kentucky, especially on defense, was going to slow them down a little bit.
Based on last year's performance, keep it close?
Yeah, I thought so. Based on how we saw them slow down Mississippi State's passing attack, how they adjusted things, thought Will Levis and those receivers would be a little more dynamic, but boy, Tennessee's for real.
Preston taken down, nothing on the return. Ole Miss is dancing around like they've got some momentum here. They've quieted the crowd, quiet enough to hear somebody walking down Bottle Cap Alley. First 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Since then, no points on the board.
No, and I think if they get this run game going a little bit early, which you got to get back to it, I'm not surprised we see maybe a shot play. Woodman's got a big arm. We've seen a couple chunk plays. We haven't really seen him push it downfield. If this run game gets going, I guarantee they'll dial one up quickly.
There's a laser to the perimeter, and Muhammad. Gain of 3. A.J. Finley on the stop. Troy Brown, the transfer from Central Michigan, fire up chips, is out there for Ole Miss. Difference maker.
Yeah, and he's been in and out of the lineup, right? You can tell they have him on a pitch count. He's so important to this defense, but he's just still not 100% yet with that shoulder injury that knocked him out for part of the game last week.
3-time first-team All-MAC performer. Oh, Cole's going to go to the MAC this week?
Maction Tuesday night?
We're going to loan him out.
Let's go.
Winston. Wigman. First down, plenty of room for Preston. That'll make it easy on your freshman quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, don't listen to me. You don't need to run the football. Just come out and toss it around. I mean, again, just Jimbo showing the confidence he has in 15. I mean, how many yards does A-Chain have tonight?
A ton.
123? Nah, but let's just let this kid toss it around.
Option to run there, though, off the RPO. That's another thing Jimbo told me before the game. He said he really likes to throw the ball off RPO fakes.
Stack the box for this one, and A-Chain took a hard hit after a gain of 5. It's really amazing over the years how many quarterbacks we've talked to. Matt Corral springs to mind immediately, who have a baseball background, who are so comfortable in the RPO offense because they have great hands and great vision.
Yeah, and just think about the way a shortstop fields a baseball and really doesn't turn and set his feet all the way to first base. It's grab it and flick it, right? Sidearm it, get it out as quickly as possible. And that's what makes quarterbacks successful in the RPO, because you don't have time to flip your hips. You don't have time to get your feet set. You read it, you got to pull it and sidearm it or get it, whatever angle you got to throw it from, you got to get it there.
A-Chain picks up the first down. 20 carries, which matches his career high. And there's still a quarter and nearly a half to play. Well, somebody did something.
False start. Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Ruben Fothery went stumbling like the kid I saw in Northgate wearing the Duff Beer costume last night. Whoop. Eight false starts last week.
That's the difference an environment will do, huh?
Yeah.
The noise last week, trying to go verbal cadence. Obviously a friendly home environment tonight. Their true freshman quarterback, Connor Wigman's able to control and dictate everything at the line of scrimmage.
Wow, what a play. Wow. Tennyson out there to trip up A-Chain.
Darius Tennyson off the edge here. One of these overhang players in a 3-down front. Going to see him coming to the screen at the right. Blow right by Donovan Green trying to make a block. That's a football play right there. And that's what they call setting the edge, Tom.
Oh.
He set the edge and he made the tackle, though. It's kind of like a bonus.
Would have been weird to see a pickleball play out here tonight, but football it is.
You play pickleball? It's a big thing now. I got to get into it.
Very popular. A-Chain on the swing. And he gets taken down by Troy Brown after a gain of 1.
I mean, is it like a cross between tennis and ping pong? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, sure.
Like, is that it's a smaller
It's
court.
like, it's miniature tennis.
Wooden paddle. It's a wiffle ball, though, right?
You don't have to run as far or as hard.
Oh, so it's tennis for lazy people.
That's entirely right.
Nice. That's something I can get on board with.
The folks who are really good, they don't even move. They're just staying flat-footed.
Yeah, it's like Forrest Gump playing ping pong. Third and 16, 3-man rush. Wigman finds A-Chain. And A-Chain gets spun to the ground after pickup of 5. Miles Battle, a Houston native out of Side Creek High School, with the tackle.
Really good decision there by Connor Wigman. Watching that back, he wanted to pull the trigger there on a dig route, but zone coverage underneath. Don't force a throw on 3rd and forever. Just check it down. Live to fight another down.
What a weapon Nick Constantino is. And Watkins takes a fair catch but loses it. And Ole Miss pounces on the loose ball after the 39-yard punt. Wow. That would have turned things a bit.
It's a little friendly fire here.
Rebels catch a break. They're getting in their own way. Connection brought to you by T-Mobile.
And there is no student section like the 12th man.
I wonder if that's the first time Zach's ever tried to fire up a T-Rex. About 25,000 on a regular basis. It's been 42 days since A&M had played here at Kyle Field. Yell practice began as a post-dinner activity in 1913 and then 1931 held before the Texas game. Incredible tradition. And here's Zach Evans. He looks healthy. Healthy indeed, and he stays in bounds, and he's still on his feet. Evans takes it inside the 35. It's a pickup of 51, and they're going to try to kick the snap off quickly because the toe is on the paint.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what was I saying? That this Ole Miss team,
the previous play is under further review,
needed to get back to attacking the perimeter, and that's kind of what they missed a little bit last week with no Zach Evans. Quinson Judkins is a talented back, but he is a bruiser. He's got some speed to him, but Zach Evans brings this element to the offense of true speed on the outside, and he can get physical too. Yeah, he's about a full yard out of bounds, but right here he kind of knew it too. He slowed down, but he's like, I didn't hear a whistle, and he keeps going. Oh, man.
Smoked Bowie.
Smoked Bowie got smoked there. He kind of stood right in front of Evans like a buoy. Just floating. That was bad.
Yeah, we're going to have to pull your joke card after.
Yep, that's understandable.
Chuckle Hut called. They've canceled your appearance.
Not really sure if that was supposed to be funny or.
Zach Evans is one of the transfers that Lane Kiffin brought to town. He was at TCU. He was the first TCU running back since 2002 with 4 consecutive 100-yard games.
The player stepped out at the 37-yard line. It'll be first down at that
spot. And 2 years ago, he averaged 7.7 yards a carry. That was the second best in TCU history and the second nationally for a true freshman. 5-star signee originally and the #2 running back in the nation. And Lane Kiffin found him in a yard sale and said, come to the SIP.
Why am I forgetting the Tennessee running back now with the Saints, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
That's a really good comp for him. Because Kamara is such a physical back. This has the breakaway speed, and Zach Evans has that as well.
DJ Durkin's on the field, so is Jimbo. He got the wrong yard line.
This 37, that 37. That's DJ Durkin's like, hey, look at the video board.
He's pointing the jumbotron. It shouldn't be the 37. It should be the 43. Officially the 43, so it's a 27-yard gain.
Yeah, you can see right there, 42-yard line.
The folks from Aggie Vision helping out, putting it up on one of the biggest scoreboards you'll find in college football in the south end zone. Dart keeps this one and gets dragged down from behind by Shamar Turner. It's a loss of 1.
Boy, and right after a dead ball, penalty, timeout, that's when Ole Miss can get really creative. And here you see that QB counter play that's been so successful. But A&M just snipped it out there.
Dart fires. Incomplete. Went off of Dayton Wade. Jalen Jones had the coverage.
Again, pressure around Dart. This was an absolute laser, though, and right on the money. Look at this. Right off the face or the Jalen Jones. A lot of contact there. Oh, another 3rd and long. You see, this guy walked up for A&M is going to dictate the protection. Even if he comes or doesn't, everybody across the board is going to be manned up. That guy walking up over the center creates one-on-one matchups.
Play clock wound out, and then Micah Pettis moved.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss got a timeout before the play clock hit double zeros. 2:27 to play in the 3rd quarter. Lane Kiffin's team hanging on by a thread here in Aggie land. Field indeed, home of the 12th man, and they'll get loud here in a moment as Ole Miss comes out of the timeout to line up for 3rd and 11. Dart swings it out. They need 11. Evans will get him that and more. Zach Evans somersaults his way to a 1st down and a pickup of 23.
Well, we've mentioned Jonathan Mingo, their best wide receiver, lining at tight end at times. That time, a huge block to spring Zach Evans.
And now Evans stopped after a gain of 1.
And Mingo 6'2", 225 on the outside is going to come into your screen here. Right there. Big block like right there on Bryce Anderson, the true freshman, to give Zach Evans a big old hole to run through. Well, Evans looks good, right? I mean, was it the second drive maybe? He ran back off the field, little
Yeah, I think
hobbled.
it was the 2nd drive he came up limping.
Yeah, he came back with that sleeve on his left leg that he wasn't wearing in warmups. We noticed because last week when he tried to give it a go in warmups, he was wearing the knee brace and just didn't look right, so they didn't play him. He was available, but didn't want to rush him back.
Darius Jones is the injured Aggie.
But this offense is just different with Zach Evans out there.
Yep. Rolled up on his right knee. And then a fold and a twist.
Not fun. You know, one thing to note, we did watch, I think on the last timeout, some communication on the Ole Miss staff with the signalers. And you pointed it out, Tom. Again, to remind everybody sitting at home, DJ Durkin, the former Ole Miss defensive coordinator, is now the defensive coordinator for Texas A&M. All week, both coaching staffs told us how much they had to focus on changing signals and changing the verbiage to try to make sure that they could hide and disguise what they were doing.
Dart steps up, and he'll run with it. And Jackson Dart again makes A&M pay with his legs. That's a 17-yard scramble. How does that impact what A&M then does in coverage later on?
Well, we've seen a few times on third downs that they've spied Jackson Dart, which means your pass rush isn't going to be as effective. Means you got to play a little more zone coverage in the middle.
Bryce Anderson seemingly cramping up with some blood on his tights too, so they'll stretch him out.
So Anderson come in there at the end of the play. Looks like he goes to pop up right away.
Nope.
Look at that calf. I've had that happen. You stand up and you go to push off it, and also
just locks up on you.
Just locks up, and there's also got an offense that's going pretty fast. A lot of snaps out there for this defense. So, and especially we mentioned with Antonio Johnson not in the lineup.
He wanted to stay in the game.
Yeah.
He's like, get back out there,
right?
right?
He's got a little. He's bleeding pretty good there. We got a little kick in the shin. But again, Bryce Anderson, true freshman, getting a lot more playing time at a few different spots with that back end shuffled around with no Antonio Johnson.
Seventh play of the drive for the Rebels. Perimeter run for Evans. Evans steps through, and then he got tripped up by his own momentum. He picks up the first down, and they'll have a first and goal after a 14-yard run.
Oh, and another huge block by Jonathan Mingo. Has been a huge role tonight with limited tight ends for Ole Miss.
Mingo in the flat. Caught! Touchdown, Ole Miss. And a flag coming in.
They might.
Was that a pick?
Yeah, they might get him for a pick play here. Ole Miss has run a few, we call them rub routes, Tom, on offense.
Until they're illegal.
Well, yeah.
Then it was a pick.
But definitely a little contact there.
There is no pass interference. The pass was caught behind the line. Touchdown.
Lane Kiffin seemingly upset with Blake Anderson as well. He was one that cramped up a moment ago. And it's Lane's team that has opened up a double-digit lead with a point after forthcoming.
Kiffin just gave Zach Evans like a little shoulder bump on the way off, smiling at him, you know, probably making fun of him for falling down on that run that could have been a touchdown.
Boy, I'm not so sure that was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Obviously, if the ball is caught behind the line of scrimmage, you can block, you can release, linemen can go downfield, you can do whatever you want, but line of scrimmage is about the 2-yard line. Boy. Mingo does reach back for that ball. It looks like he is maybe a foot on the other side of the 2-yard line. Ball. Oh, that is really close. Again, there's that little rub route. You see Jordan Watkins getting a little piece of the A&M defender. That's what the flag was initially thrown at, and they picked it up because they deemed that Jonathan Mingo caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage, so contact downfield is legal. This one is really close.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And I just don't think there was a way you could determine exactly where that ball was with any of those angles that we saw. And the way it was called on the field, you would have had to have definitive evidence there that that ball was behind the line of scrimmage.
Jonathan Cruz on for the point after. So an 8-play, 85-yard drive, and Jonathan Mingo played a key role in this entire drive, including a huge block on the Zach Evans run.
And had a huge block to spring Zach Evans earlier in the drive as well. And again here, driving his defender. You see there all the way out of the picture, getting him down to the 2-yard line to set up a little hide route. Again, Mingo is lined up all over the field tonight because, as we've noted, Ole Miss really only has 2 tight ends on roster. One of them, Casey Kelly, has been banged up, hardly practiced all week, and behind him, Kyron Heath, the true freshman. So Jonathan Mingo's really playing H, he's playing the F, he's playing Z and X. I mean, he's all over the field because he's physical, he's a big body, he can block. What they got down there?
You got a fire extinguisher celebration on the sideline?
What is that? They get into cold smelling salts down there? Oh no, that is a wow. 'Tis the season, huh?
Don't let the Rebels get too hot, apparently. Bring your own party.
I mean, look at the ref. The ref's in there. The ref's like, hey guys, I can't see. What are we doing?
Opportunity for a return. And Ole Miss all sorts of fired up. In a moment, let's get to Delora Rutledge and our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Wherever fun happens, Academy Sports and Outdoors is there.
Kyle Field, Bryan College Station, Texas. Ole Miss is a double-digit lead, 14th meeting between these programs. A&M has won 9 of the previous 13. Muhammad in motion. Wigman with a bullet to A-Chain.
You know, just I think that's the 3rd drive in a row that they've started with a pass play. And I just go back to how effective the running game was early. I mean, first drive, I don't think they threw the ball, but maybe once or twice moved all the way down the field.
They didn't throw it to the very end.
Yeah, to the very end. And the success they've had in the pass game has really been on play action. So I'd love to see him get A-Chain going again as the 3rd quarter ticks away here.
7 of their first 8 plays of the game were runs.
Yeah, 4 drives in a row they've started with a pass play.
And failure to reach the line of scrimmage. Ladarius Tennyson with the tackle.
And so you end up playing catch up. You get yourself behind the sticks, right?
Yeah.
If it's an incompletion, then now you're in 2nd and long, and now all of a sudden a negative play, and you find yourself in 3rd and long. And that's not where you want to live with a freshman quarterback.
He's 2 of 8 on 3rd down tonight. Wigman delivers to the tight end, Donovan Green. 4-star recruit out of Dickinson High School. That'll bring it into the 3rd quarter. Ole Miss trying to send A&M to its 4th consecutive loss. And the play of transfer quarterback Jackson Dart has been a big reason, especially the second half. Either that or Lane changing his hoodie. Either way, it's a 10-point Ole Miss lead. Back to SEC Saturday night, presented by T-Mobile. On the campus of Texas A&M, where 15th ranked Ole Miss is looking to bounce back from a loss, their first of the season against LSU. Jordan Watkins back to receive this punt. And he takes a fair catch at the 29-yard line. 46-yard punt. I get the feeling after we talked with Lane Kiffin this week and down on the field pregame when we visited with him that he was concerned about some real holes in his team. Size on the defensive side of the ball, pass blocking with the offensive line. If they leave here with the win and they can pull this one out, it answers a lot of questions about who they are.
It does. And we were talking to Lane down on the field and he goes, hey, I told all my coaches, don't look on the other side. Because they got some good-looking boys, and we don't have guys that look like that. And the last team we played last week looked like that, and we got our butts kicked. But they have figured some things out and made great adjustments.
Here's Quinshon Judkins. That has been there all night.
Yeah. Again, it's so different when you have Judkins that can hit it north and south, and a healthy Zach Evans that can hit it east to west.
Judkins was just a 3-star recruit. As Dart tries to keep this one, can't quite turn the corner. And Cole, Lane Kiffin was willing to sit through a rainstorm to sign him.
Absolutely. State championship game there, Protective Stadium in Birmingham, Alabama. Said it was a rainy night, it was a long game, but he kind of stuck around to see him. And there were some pictures that floated around on social media. Lane told us I was going to stay and watch him anyway. It's a good game, but somebody that they wanted from day one.
Fake toss, Dart again. Ton of acreage to run. It's a pickup of 16. There's another injured Aggie in the back end of the play. They'll have to tend to that as Ole Miss wanted to come to the line. It's Walter Nolan banged up again.
You mentioned earlier, Tom, what does A&M have to do for some of these dart runs? Well, they had a spy on here. You're going to look, these two guys right here. Watch and let it roll. They're going to both go. Well, excuse me, it was Damani Richardson, but you see right there, Chris Russell right there. He was supposed to spy. He goes with the running back, but Damani Richardson already had the running back. If he stays where he's supposed to be, he's sitting right there for that run through that Jackson Dart's hit, what, 4 or 5 times at least tonight already?
So then the other side of that, I think you can pay it forward with once you have to account for him as a runner and you take that spy out of coverage, how much easier does that make what Jackson Dart is seeing?
Oh, it's huge, right? I mean, that opens up the window for the dig routes and for the option routes over the ball. So it definitely makes things easier. And that's why everybody wants a quarterback with mobility. It just changes the way a defense has to play you.
They are walking him off gingerly. By the way, of note, a reminder, Texas A&M without Antonio Johnson in this game, warmed up but couldn't go, and he's one of their best defenders. Mel Kiper has him as the #1 safety in the draft to begin the season.
I know it's a lot of time left in the fourth quarter, but this feels like this drive is for the game, right? I mean, if Ole Miss is able to get a touchdown here, the way A&M's offense has been playing, it almost feels like it would be out of reach. So now that Ole Miss has flipped and they're on the plus side of the field here, A&M's got to figure out how to get a stop, and this defensive line has been the strength all night. They got to find a way to make a big play.
Quinshon Judkins is sitting on 29 carries. He's picked up 131 yards. Carried it 25 times against LSU, 25 times against Auburn. He has been carrying the mail for him. Evans replaces him.
They're going to have to hurry to get it off here.
Give him time for the late sub. And they don't get the snap off. And then Jaden Williams moved.
False start on the offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Cole, with a roster full of featured back, Quinshon Judkins really standing out this year.
There's no doubt. I talked to his high school coach, Patrick Browning, at Pike Road High School. He's now at Greenville High School, and he said there's no surprises to anything that he's doing to him. He said we pressed him for it. They started a new school and a new program, so he coached him from the 7th grade on. And he said, I knew right away he was going to be appealing physically and from an ability standpoint. He said, so I never really took my foot off the gas. He accepted all the coaching, wanted to be great, and a guy that put everything into it. He loves football, and someone that puts everything he has into it.
It's his first crack at it. Meanwhile, Evans and Bentley both power recruits. Deep ball, too much. and incomplete. There's one weakness in Jackson Dart's game. He can be sometimes too aggressive, and on the deep balls, he tends to sail it.
Yeah, and in talking to Charlie Weiss Jr., he mentioned that's one thing we've worked on a ton is putting more air on those deep balls. I mean, Dart's got such a strong arm. Sometimes he can throw it on a line 50, 55 yards, but that one right there, if he lays that one up to the end zone, that post route has a chance to run underneath it, but just threw it too flat and too wide.
3rd down, 13. Here's Evans. And Evans gets taken down in the open field by Jalen Jones. The offense will stay on the field on 4th down and try to get this snap off quickly. 10-point lead, early 4th quarter. Huge play.
Their 4th down go-to guy has been Jonathan Mingo.
They need 6. Dart. Incomplete. Jordan Gilbert knocked it down. He is injured. Pressure came from Jacoby Matthews. And another turnover on downs. Second time Ole Miss has been stopped on 4th down tonight. They'll tend to the injured Gilbert. Will step away for a break. 12:08 to play in a 10-point game. Opportunity awaits freshman quarterback Connor Wigman. 16 of 21 on the night, but the Aggies haven't scored since early in the game when they put 2 touchdowns on the board quickly. Scored on the very first drive. Wigman finds Stewart. That's good for a first down. Evan Stewart, 5-star recruit, Under Armour All-American.
And I literally just went to Greg Campbell over here, our statistician, and asked him, when's the last time Evan Stewart had a reception? It was the early 2nd quarter until that play right there. About time they got him back involved.
Here's A-Chain. He found a little bit of daylight. It's a sign of a good statistician. A great statistician would have given you that nugget before you asked.
Yeah, well, I'm unpredictable sometimes.
Indeed. Hey, Chris and Craig.
There they are.
Yeah.
Give the real guys the camera here.
Guys that make us look smarter than we are. Heavy lifting.
They dress you?
What?
Don't get paid for that, Cole.
You said they make you look smarter than you are.
Yeah.
Boy, just A&M right before that hinted at a little bit more of that tempo. We haven't seen a ton of that here in the second half. Had so much success early, especially in the first quarter, going up tempo.
A-Chain picks up maybe a yard and a half. Cole, how does tempo impact a young offensive line?
Well, a lot of times you hear about quarterbacks and receivers say it takes away the thought process. But for me, as an offensive lineman, I want to be able to process the front. I want to be able to get in my stance, have an understanding of, do I get a 0 technique, head up on the center? Do I have a 3, outside shade of the guard? What's the front going to be? Are we working a combo block here? Which linebacker are we working to? When you go fast, as a younger offensive lineman, you don't just know those things secondhand.
The thought is that you get the same personnel, and perhaps that could turn into an advantage. Wigman heaves it. Jump ball caught off the helmet, and Stewart's got it at the 2. 36-yard pickup.
And this is why you get Evan Stewart back involved. 2 catches on this drive, his first since the early 2nd quarter. This is not an easy catch. He jumps too early. Defender's in perfect position and still wrestles it away.
The rolling on the field is a catch. The previous play is under further review.
It's like Eli to David Tyree.
You know what I love too, though? Connor Wigman under a little bit of pressure as a young quarterback with a rocket for an arm. That's so easy just to airmail that one out of bounds or throw it with too low of a trajectory. He threw that one with a lot of air and right in a position for his receiver to go get that one. Working on DeAndre Prince. Again, Evan Stewart, just 5'11". He's not a big guy, but he goes up and makes contested catches as good as anybody that I've watched this year in the SEC. That is big time.
Well, he wasn't just a track star. He was also a field star. He 5A long jump champion, so that's a guy who's got some hops.
That was David Tyree-esque. It was right on Prince's helmet, right there. Pinned it. Honestly, I don't think without the helmet there, it's stopping. He didn't have it firm right away.
Yeah,
like
he kind of came into his face.
He readjusts there after it kind of pauses on top of Prince's helmet there. That is, wow.
It goes back to what I said in the first quarter. The play of the freshman Wigman, the play of the freshman Stewart, the young offensive line, the talent they have on the defensive line. It's why the expectations got so rushed here in College Station in Jimbo's 5th year, because best recruiting class perhaps ever assembled.
I know they're looking at it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a catch.
Pretty straightforward from the replays we saw. And what about how much that changes the momentum and the confidence for this A&M team? Remember I said half a drive ago, a drive and a half ago, that defense needed to come up with a stop. Otherwise, the game might have got out of hand. They did, and now a huge play by Connor Wigman to really put A&M right back in the thick of this.
Crownover in as the fullback again. Devon Chain got popped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Set up 2nd and goal. Irie Coleman, first man there for Ole Miss. And remember, the transfer portal came over from TCU. On 2nd and goal, play action, wide open, touchdown, Texas A&M, and the first for Noah Thomas.
Well, if you're an A&M fan, you heard us last week talking about motion. Do something pre-snap that makes the defense think or gets them out of position. That time it did both to set up that touchdown.
7th inning stretch in the World Series with the Astros up 5-1, and here early 4th quarter, A&M has made it a field goal game.
You're going to see Noah Thomas come all the way across the line of scrimmage, get in position to look like a run play. Safety adjusts. Safety stays over there. Forgets that he's got Noah Thomas man-to-man, and a touchdown for A&M. And boy, we got a good one brewing.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC.
A bevy of stars for the Rebels tonight. The dynamic running of Jackson Dart has opened things up. The versatility of Mingo, who's been playing all over the field, and Quinshon Judkins is sitting on 29 carries for $131. And this one will be a touchback. Been so much talk about Jimbo Fisher and his contract. You go back to guys who were hired for 2018. There's been normal turnover in college football. These are the only ones still at their original school. Now, a handful have made what you could call lateral moves in that time. But otherwise, the turnover is real. 11 of the 21 hired for 2018 have already been fired. Only 6 remain in their same job. That's natural, but there will be no turnover in Aggie land because he's got a guaranteed deal.
Yeah, it used to be the NFL was the only league that's not for long. Boy, in college football, the landscape that it is
Here's
today.
Judkins. He breaks free, and now a foot race, and they will indeed catch him from behind. Jalen Jones tracks him down. The importance of this final 4th quarter to the mood around here, and Judkins has said, take your mood and shove it. I'm running for 61, and he's knocking on the door of 200.
And I'm not sure anybody was blocked on that play. I mean, Judkins just made 3 or 4 guys miss before he hit the open field.
Lane Kiffin says it's okay, slow down. And in fact, they're going to take a timeout here. Quinshon Judkins got stopped at the last second. He almost ended up in dime box. How about this run?
Again, look at all the movement this way. No one's really blocked, but it's going to open up a big hole. All that lateral movement right here. There's 3 or 4 guys around Judkins. All of them should have made the tackle. But he is tough to bring down. Me and Cole were down there field level. First time really seeing Quinshon Judkins in person. Man, is he built like a running back or what?
He's put together well. And once again, his high school coach, Patrick Browning, said he lived in the weight room in the offseason. Said he would never skip a workout, always doing extra work. So physically, another reason that anybody who was around him in Pike Road, Alabama, not surprised by what he's done so far this season.
And second in the FBS in broken tackles, just added a few to his list after that one.
Lane said he was fun to recruit. Well, probably even more fun to have on your active roster. It was the longest run of the year for the Rebels. Pressure from the edge. Judkins goes the other way. Judkins laying into people, and he picks up a first down on a 12-yard punishing run.
I mean, he wanted the contact from 17 right there. He wanted every bit of it. I'm 4 yards away from it down here in the corner of the end zone. There was never a thought from Quinshon Judkins to go out of bounds.
Career high in carries. Career high in yards. And Ole Miss trying to answer that A&M score. It covered 73 yards in less than a minute on a pair of Judkins runs. Number 4 again. Found one. LT Overton the stop. I think you asked Lane after the game, how his game plan changed to try and find someone to help Judkins. He said, well, he'll say he was just too good. We had to lean on him. See if they get him on the edge.
This is where they've loved Jonathan Mingo.
Judkins in. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
A couple times down there, they've hit Jonathan Mingo on that little hide route. That time, sent him across the formation after the snap and snagged the eyes of a couple linebackers, made him hesitate just for a second and allowed Judkins to get downhill and punch that one in.
4 plays, 75 yards, all Quinshon Judkins.
How many carries is that for him tonight?
33.
33. And
they used to say, you know, a guy's really earning a scholarship tonight. He's earning whatever's coming his way, NIL, scholarship.
There is no foul on the play.
And Lane made a point when we talked to him, it's just way too many snaps. Can't have that. Can't do it.
And he said it's cumulative, right? It's not just in this game or the LSU game, but the Auburn game before that.
But at some point,
it's tough to stop going back to the well.
That's what I'm saying. At some point in the fourth quarter, you got to keep riding the guy that's been the best player on the field.
Point after is good by Jonathan Cruz. Quinshon Judkins in the history of Ole Miss football is putting his name on the record book. It's the most rushing touchdowns ever by an Ole Miss freshman. This is what set it up, laying the wood before finishing it off himself. 4 plays, all Judkins. 9th has always been a special day for Quinshon Judkins. Today is his birthday. And today, a career high in carries and yards, what looks to be the first page of a fantastic career. The Pike Road, Alabama product. Quinshon Judkins has turned 19 today. That is a young freshman in the college football world. And already over 1,000 yards. Fair catch taken for Texas A&M.
It's unreal. The big bad back needs big bad breakfast for life.
I'll take some of that.
There's your NIL deal. The pickup.
I saw Jimbo Fisher have an extensive conversation during that break with his freshman quarterback Connor Wigman, going over the 2 or 3 concepts that he feels best throwing right now, and those are going to be the first couple that Jimbo dials up.
How important is this drive, big picture, for Texas A&M?
It's monumental. It's huge. Trying to avoid a 4-game skid. A lot of it's going to hinge on this drive right here.
Wigman finds A-Chain. He bends it back to the inside. Aggies have not lost 4 consecutive games since 2005, and it would be only their 3rd 4-game losing streak over the last quarter century. When Jimbo was introduced, they expected national championships. Here's Muhammad. And an A&M first down on a pickup of 14.
Big time throw there by Wigman. Waited for Muhammad on that dig route to come into that second window. Held it a tick longer than he probably thought he had to, but then delivered a strike.
Wigman against a 3-man rush will take off. And he tumbles forward for the first down. And a gain of 12. There's an injured Ole Miss player on the back end of that play. It's Ashanti Sistrom.
Sistrom ran right into Kyrie Coleman on that tackle. A little friendly fire. Oh, it looked bad right here. Good to see him pop up. Bam. Almost think Coleman got the worst end of that one.
The stoppage play for the injury timeout, and Jimbo is inside the numbers talking with his quarterback.
Ole Miss going to bring pressure. Oh, they back off.
Wigman lets it go for Stewart, and it is knocked away by DeAndre Price. If you joined us yet late, Connor Wigman getting his first start of the season. He's the 3rd different starting quarterback this year. Haynes King been bothered by a shoulder injury that he suffered against South Carolina. Max Johnson out with a broken thumb. They rotated at quarterback first half of the season. Jimbo was quick to tell us, though, that King is available. Now, that being said, we didn't see him throw a single pass in warmups.
Not right-handed, which he throws. Some threw a couple left-handed ones, but
2nd and 10, and the skinny post incomplete. 2015 under Kevin Sumlin is the last time A&M started 3 quarterbacks in a season. Kyle Allen was the starter to begin the season. Kyler Murray had a magnificent game late in the year when he started here at home against South Carolina. Then they both announced they were transferring at the end of the regular season, and Jake Hubenek went head-to-head with Lamar Jackson in the Music City Bowl. That was Lamar's coming out party. 4-man rush, 3rd and 10, and incomplete. 5:58 to go, down 10.
I'll tell you what, Jared Ivey just monster bull rush in the middle of that Texas A&M offensive line on that play. Put a guard on his fanny.
You had Fanny on your bingo card. Congratulations.
Well, that would be twice because Fanny Pack, we said earlier, so double winners.
Judges would accept that. Huge 4th down.
Cedric Johnson, best pass rusher for Ole Miss, lined up inside.
Wigman lets it go, incomplete. A&M turns it over on downs. Home crowd wanted a flag, it didn't come, and the Rebels could smell this one with 5:52 to go and a 10-point lead.
Well, there was a little contact at the end of this one. Ball a little bit behind as well. Woo, it was close.
'62, Johnny Vaught's Rebels team was in the top 10 all season. They ended the year with a win in the Sugar Bowl against Arkansas. That's the last time they got up to a start this good. An 8-1 record would put them in that same conversation. Quarterback Glenn Griffin and tackle Jim Dunaway, All-Americans that year. USC transfer Jackson Dart keeps it and gets to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Crucial next 2 plays here for A&M defense. If Ole Miss picks up this first down, that's when you have to start thinking about using those timeouts you have. A&M still has 3 of them. Not there yet with just under 5.5 minutes.
Rebels will bleed the clock. This time he hands it off, and another huge stop by A&M as Judkins taken down behind the line by Andre White.
And I will say, a lot of times for a high-tempo offense like Ole Miss, these type of scenarios are really hard. Because there is a momentum, there is a rhythm to going fast, and that's when sometimes they're at their best and most physical in the run game. And when you got to slow it down and sit in that 3-point stance for 4 or 5 seconds, you're not as fast off the ball, not as physical, and that's 2 plays in a row that A&M has whooped them up front. Now 3rd and long is exactly where A&M wants them.
They just traded running backs twice. We see Ulysses Bentley the 4th on the field for the first time. He's playing with a hand injury. He'll be the lead blocker for Dart on a draw on 3rd and 11 past midfield. It's a 10-point lead. That's a gain of 9, and they're going to keep the offense on the field on 4th down.
And obviously brought in Bentley to be that lead blocker specifically.
Traditionally, people will be punting in this situation to put our defense on the field. Lane Kiffin's book tells them otherwise.
Yeah, and I think they might end up taking a timeout here, letting this clock run, taking a timeout and thinking about this one, or at least taking time to dial up a perfect play. 6 seconds, 5.
And let it play. Play clock hit double zeros. Nobody moved on the A&M line.
Delay game on the offense, number 2, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And so now the punt team will come on. Busy day for my buddy Jordan Rogers, and thanks to Wheels Up helping make travel easier. Jordan was at Nation in Jacksonville this morning. Arrived here in Bryan College Station this afternoon.
Long flight over.
Yeah.
3 hours. I thought there might have been a real chance that they took a timeout, thought about, and ran a play there. But obviously it's a smart decision as well, just to back up the 5 yards, give yourself more room and punt it.
From the 9, Muhammad up through the first and takes it out past the 20, 45-yard punt, 11 on the return. So here we go. The legacy of Jimbo Fisher is what's at play here. We've illustrated, and you've read multiple times this week, the contract is what it is. And to break it down a little bit further, here's Pete Thamel.
No matter how bad things get for Texas A&M this season, they will not move on from Coach Jimbo Fisher. They'd owe him $86 million in buyout money if they were to fire him. Just to put Fisher's buyout in perspective, he'd be owed $48 million in 2026. So there's a sincere commitment to make it work between A&M and Jimbo Fisher. That means to expect significant staff changes, significant style changes on offense, and likely play calling changes in order for the Aggies to get right for their ailing offense.
It would be cheaper to buy Texas and Oklahoma out of their Big 12 contract a year early than to buy Jimbo out of his deal. Now, when the LSU job opened, that made a lot of people a lot of money. Jimbo got his extension. Mel Tucker got 85 from Michigan State. Brian Kelly's is mostly guaranteed at 77.
Yeah, I think the key word that Pete Thamel said there is staff changes, system changes possibly, because this is what you want to look at. Jimbo Fisher's going nowhere, but they're about to have their 10th FBS game without scoring more than 24 points. Something's got to change there. If Jimbo's not changing, something's got to change.
Yet he insisted our offense is what half the league runs.
But it's not true. That's not true. It's really not. It's less than half the league, and everybody, including the South Carolina, is adapting their offense more towards a spread, higher tempo offense to fit their quarterback Spencer Rattler. So
on 1st and 10, Wigman fires incomplete, trying to find Noah Thomas. So what is the answer here?
Look, I think it's important to frame this offense. This is a pro-style system, and the good aspect of a pro-style system is no matter what the defense does, there's always an answer. There's a protection check. There's a built-in sight adjustment. There's a concept that adjusts on the fly. There's always an answer. The problem is when you have a young quarterback or young talent around him, the adjustments are so much that you play slow and you make mistakes.
Wigman over the middle. Here's Muhammad. Fantastic move after the catch. He hung a U-turn on Wellborn to pick up a 17-yard reception. We talked with Max Wright, the senior tight end, yesterday, and he said what complicates it is the options that you have as a route runner within the offense. And that quarterback needs to know what all of your options are against coverage. What a grab on Muhammad. On another A&M first down. He looks comfortable running his routes to pick up of 18.
And that's 3 or 4 dig routes they've had Muhammad on. And almost as many plays, finding a soft spot in the zone there.
Injured player for Ole Miss.
Timeout for injured player.
Cole, if Jimbo Fisher could smash the easy button and fix this thing, what would be the first thing that gets changed?
I think right now it'd be experience. I think he would want more guys with more reps, more game repetitions, just to go with what Jordan was referencing a little bit earlier, just to make them more comfortable with all the different things that come with this offense. Getting to the right protection, getting to the right run checks, knowing what your hots are, and then having that understanding of, hey, this route breaks off 2 yards early because of where the corner's lined up. Where you have inside leverage here, you can't break this route off as early. You have to carry it out just a little bit further. You think about how many young guys are playing on this team. They're young at center. They're young at quarterback. They're young across the offensive line. They're young at tight end. I mean, that's just on offense, by the way. So to understand those intricate details, like Max Wright told us, he said it's the intricate details of this offense that you have to be great with. It's hard to be that comfortable with those when you have this many young players.
J.J. Pegues helped off the field.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's just with the talent that they're able to recruit.
3 straight top 5 classes. This one's on time. Evan Stewart, and he gets walloped inside the 30. It's a pickup of 17. Otis Reese, the Georgia transfer, had the hit. Now, we thought A&M was done last week at South Carolina, and they put together a near miraculous comeback. Wigman has now thrown for 311. They recovered an onside kick late in that game, and that one is nearly picked. And he gets ruled incomplete. It was Trey Washington who was in front of Evan Stewart.
That's where you got to be careful, right? That dig route keeps being open to Moose Muhammad. Ole Miss makes an adjustment, leaves a low hole player there sitting right in that zone, and you try to squeeze one in there to Evan Stewart, and Evan Stewart did a really good job playing DB there and helping break that one up.
300-yard game in Wigman's first start, and marching him down the field. Wide open is his tight end, Donovan Green. All right, so this kind of reminds me a little bit of last week against South Carolina when they started going, just how they started this game. Wigman has had success.
Yeah.
But when they went away from it, things got a little convoluted.
And what were we just talking about? The pro-style system, the complexity, the adjustments. When you go fast, it's a smaller package of plays. It's maybe 10 plays that everybody knows since day one install. Everyone runs them fast and confident.
Here's Stewart. Gain of 5 and a first down. Under 2 minutes of play. A&M has all 3 timeouts remaining.
Because they have all 3 timeouts, they don't necessarily have to take a shot in the end zone this play, but they're going to need to in the next couple plays.
Ole Miss takes its final timeout of the game.
Remember that last possession for Ole Miss, Lane tried to run some clock. They only ran 2:31. They didn't pick up a first down. They gave the ball back to Texas A&M, and Aggies have taken advantage of that.
With all the space that Ole Miss is given on the perimeter, wouldn't mind seeing either A-Chain out of the backfield on one of those bubble plays to get him the ball in space, or even something quick to Evan Stewart. See if you can't get a catch and run here before you start taking a few shots into the end zone. And what a valuable timeout. I know Ole Miss took that timeout, but what a valuable timeout for A&M there. For Jimbo now inside the 20-yard line to be able to talk to your freshman quarterback, hey, we're going to run this play, and next we're going to run this play if we don't score. They have 2 plays right now in their mind that they're going to run if this one doesn't score.
4-man rush. Wigman hit as he throws, sails out of the back of the end zone, but a personal foul penalty coming up on Ole Miss after they planted Wigman. It was Tavius Robinson. Now, we had an interesting discussion with DJ Durkin yesterday, who shared with us that the SEC specifically is trying to get more in line with the NFL rule on roughing the passer and protecting the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting, number 95 on the defense. The previous play is under further review.
And that could have a long-lasting effect on Tavius Robinson. If it's upheld, he would miss the first half of Alabama in a couple of weeks.
Right, so targeting, got to understand that the quarterback here is defenseless, so it doesn't have to be crown of the helmet. It's forcible contact to the head or neck area. And they're looking for an indicator here, right? A lunge, the ducking of the head there. Boy, that looks like targeting.
I agree. If that helmet is in the chest, might be different.
Right.
But in the chin or on the face mask.
And again, that's a tough play for that defender, right? I mean, he's trying to run through the quarterback there, but again, these type of penalties and this targeting rule is to change behavior.
So Connor Wigman just took a massive hit, and Jimbo says, get over here, get in this huddle. What? Literally, you've been in this position, so as a quarterback, how do you shake the cobwebs, so to speak, to get back in for the next play?
You have no choice. It's really hard after taking a lick like that. For a second, you're like, okay, wait, what downer is it? What's going on here? What's the situation? I think Jimbo might have even just said, you okay? You got it? Okay. Connor Wigman nodding his head. Again, this one's really close. The targeting aspect of it, is it chest? Is it up in the head area? That's going to depend whether it's roughing the passer or targeting.
After review, there is no targeting on 95, but there is roughing the passer. It'll be half the distance, first down.
So that tells me that it wasn't up in the neck area, and/or they didn't see a definitive indicator. I mean, I just see the head dip a little bit, right? And it looks like it's up around that face mask.
And I think if you watch Wigman's head, it's evident that contact was made with the face mask because his head moves back. Regardless, 1st and goal. That's big for Robinson in regards to the Alabama game. 4-man rush again. Wigman forced to heave it into the end zone. Tipped and intercepted. A.J. Finley off the tip from Aishin Young, and now they say incomplete. Out of the back of the end zone. They'll have to hand the ball back and get back on defense.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
Yeah, and A.J. Finley's actually going to step out of bounds before he catches that.
He's got to get reestablished back in the field of play, and that did not occur.
Yeah, that right foot out of bounds, never fully reestablished by the time he picks that off. But what a freshman mistake there by Connor Wigman.
But he lives to play another day.
Exactly.
2nd and goal.
Well, this is where they love Evan Stewart in a one-on-one matchup.
Looking left, now forced to roll right. Everybody's covered and incomplete. 3rd and goal, 1:31 remaining. Connor Wigman looks like he's still feeling the effects of it.
And remember, A&M down 10 here, so they need a field goal and a touchdown. 3rd down here, they obviously would love to get the 6-7 points here. If not, got to kick the field goal, still with 3 timeouts. The game's not over.
Sorry, they did that with about a minute left against South Carolina, then got the onside kick. A-Chain out of the backfield, and he is in! Touchdown, Texas A&M! A 10-play, 80-yard drive. It could have ended on the pick in the back of the end zone. Personal foul penalty, aided with another 15 yards. Huge point after for Bond. He punches it through. So now we get a very similar situation to what we saw last time against South Carolina, but they have even more time on the clock.
Yeah, what a drive by Connor Wigman. Obviously the near mistake on what could have been an interception, but time after time hung in there, getting hit over and over again, delivering strikes down the middle of the field. And there, remember I said, get one of your playmakers the ball in space, see if they can't make somebody miss. That's the talent of this team, and A-Chain did it there.
Cole, this A&M team has been close. I mean, they nearly knocked off Alabama with the play at the end of regulation. It's a results-driven business, but we'd feel a lot different about this team if they would have pulled out a couple of these, and now with 1:25 to play, they could change the thinking.
Absolutely. What do you get with youth? Inconsistency. And that's what Jordan and I have talked about multiple times that we see on film. You mentioned it earlier in this game, Tom. Like, where has this offensive line play been from Texas A&M? Now, I feel like they got away from the run a little bit in the second half, but they came out and played great football early in this game. It's not always going to be the same product week in, week out when you have that much youth that's contributing on a weekly basis.
All right, last week they used 2 kickers on their onside kick with a little cross. This is a different look than what Ole Miss would have seen on film with Caden Davis handling the duties here. And he kicks it away. Nobody is back for Ole Miss. 1:25 to play. Are you surprised they kicked it away?
No, not at all. You got 3 timeouts. I'd have loved for them to not kick it in the end zone there. They'll probably kick one a little short somewhere, at least make them field it and do something with it. But you got 3 timeouts. This defensive line has played at a high level all night. And when
sorry, I think Jimbo was just telling Caden Davis that same thing.
Yeah. And when Ole Miss hasn't been able to use tempo, they've struggled getting pushed. So they pick up a first down. This one's over. If A&M can stop them, they still got a chance down 3.
Trying a little end around with Wade. Shuffles his way to a gain of 2.
Texas A&M takes its first timeout of the half.
A&M will stop the clock, 1:19 to play. By the way, if A&M can't pull a comeback, you're looking at a Florida A&M game next week. It's been a pair of 1-4 teams in the conference. Gators off to their worst conference start since they were 0-5 in 1979.
What's interesting about situations like this, end the game, that's where you have your biggest tendencies. And DJ Durkin, defensive coordinator for A&M, having seen this offense from Lane Kiffin every single day for the last few years, he's probably got a pretty good idea of what they want to do in these situations.
And the roles reverse. Kiffin knows Durkin well.
Very true.
Straight ahead. Zach Evans trying to move the pile. Picks up 5. 1:13 left in regulation. And Aggies will stop the clock again. Down to 1 timeout remaining.
Getting back to duo, hadn't seen a lot of that from Ole Miss, but you assure yourself a couple of double teams. We've seen a lot of gap scheme, a lot of perimeter runs, a lot of runs that visually will deceive that defense. That's just north and south, coming off the football, trying to engage on a double team and get movement at the point of attack.
Cole, explain while we have a minute what duo looks like.
It looks like an isolation play. So an old dive play, like if you played either Tecmo Bowl or if you played Madden back in the day, you had the dive where the line just goes straight up the field. It looks like that as far as the back's track, but what it does is it allows you to stay on your double teams longer, and it forces you to have more double teams as well. You get that out of certain alignment, 2 tight end sets, things of that nature. It's just a movement play, really, is all it is.
Zach Evans in the game here. A&M has got to be really strong on the edges.
On the edge and the swing pass. A stiff arm from Malik Heath, and he's taken down. Andre White with the stop for A&M. It's a loss of 1.
A high-risk play from Ole Miss. That lateral pass that sometimes can be a backwards pass depending on where it's caught, and a great job by Andre White. His role increased last week. The injury from Edgerrin Cooper, and a huge stop when A&M needed it.
But if Heath did one thing right on that play, was to get down inbounds, forcing A&M to use its final timeout with 1:04 to play. This place has turned into a party, and DJ Durkin has the dance moves.
And you learn those from Shane Beamer. All right, we're going to have a drive here. No timeouts. A punt return, some field position would be huge right here from Moose Muhammad. You're going to have a true freshman with no timeouts, needing to get him in field goal position. Or special teams could change it right here.
Got it off clean. It's a boomer. Muhammad says get away, and it takes an Ole Miss bounce and trickles all the way inside the 10. And the Aussie, Frazier Mazin, ends up with a 60-yard punt. And so Connor Wigman will have a long field on what has been a fantastic second half and a big night. He's tied the A&M freshman record with 4 passing touchdowns in this single game. Thrown for 331.
This is what you dream about right here in your first start. In front of your home crowd at Kyle Field. 54 seconds left. Got to go 92 yards. No timeouts.
Randy Bond had a 51-yard field goal, a career long last week against South Carolina.
I say touchdown, they need a field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll take the touchdown.
Wigman in the end zone. Incomplete, a hair behind Evan Stewart. He would have been running for a minute.
Yeah, and that's one of those design plays where everybody runs off to the field. Take your guy deep, try to get Evan Stewart the ball in space. Love the play call. Just a little behind. How about Wigman? Little smile. Under the most pressure he's ever been in his life probably right now.
Under a minute to play. A&M no timeouts. Wigman finds the Ole Miss sideline with it. 44 seconds remaining.
Boy, so much success the last drive. Attacking the middle of the field with Moose Muhammad.
Muhammad will be in the slot, the right side of the formation. 5 wide for A&M.
Ahmed right there.
3-man rush. Wigman on a back pedal, delivers, and A-Chain gets stood up at about the 14. 33 seconds and rolling. They got to hurry and come up with a great play on 4th down. 25 to play in regulation. 4th down. Wigman, the freshman, over the middle, incomplete. And Ole Miss is going to hold on for a 31-28 win. What a stop by this Rebels defense. And Lane Kiffin feeling this one.
A valiant effort there at the end by Connor Wigman. This ball is a tight window just off the hands of his receiver. Probably should have been caught. But what a bounce back win for Ole Miss.
Not bad for Yoda, huh?
Woo. After a disappointing loss last week to LSU, Ole Miss was on top of the world, all of a sudden fell out of everybody's conversation. Now they're right back in it.
Same conversation around this Aggie program. Now 1-4 in the SEC. Preseason top 10. Best recruiting class in college football history. Meanwhile, Lane Kiffin's team fighting for the headlines. They certainly deserve it. He changed hoodies at the half. Maybe that was the difference. Lane Kiffin with Cole.
What you got?
Are you on?
I was just going to let you go.
Oh, no. I was asking you our record, making sure we were 8-1. No, that was a great finish there by our defense, and we really played a good second half. So, this is a tough place to play, and they got great players. You saw their players show up today, and the receiver makes some great plays. So, proud of our guys to get a win on the road and get to a bye. We're really banged up, so it'll be good to be healthy.
It's supposed to be Quinshon's birthday. He's supposed to get presents, not give you the present that he just gave you tonight.
Yeah, I thought the running backs did well. I mean, 390 yards rushing against a bunch of 5-stars, pretty good.
What was your message to the team at halftime? Seemed like you struggled a little bit before the half. You told me at halftime, need to get the pass game going. You battled back, find a way to get a win on the road.
Yeah, just limit explosive plays. We were getting some rush there, and he was throwing it up, and outside receivers making plays. So, I just got to thank God for these players coming together and the way that they played. It's a really cool group.
Halloween right around the corner. What are we dressing up as?
I don't know. Maybe Joker. Maybe Jimbo has a Joker outfit for me.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Lane always delivers. Always.
Wow. Oh, on point.
Yeah, that's the 8th win of the season. They're past that LSU stumble. They got an off week, and then they get Alabama. What a year for Judkins. And what a game for Ole Miss. Be back in just a moment, but first, Dari Noka.
Yeah, Tommy, Lane was in fuego there.
We're going to need somebody to tell us the backstory.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It sounded like perhaps a little shade being thrown there. No, that's a big win.
That is a shade when he was talking about impressive against a bunch of 5-stars.
Yeah, 390 yards rushing against a bunch of 5-stars. They did what they do.
They did.
Right? This is what they did. This is what they do. 390 on the ground and a big second half for Ole Miss.
Yeah, you can talk about the run game and everything else, but what I didn't expect necessarily was the defensive performance. Stabilized after being on their heels the first 2 drives. The Aggies went right down the field with some new looks with Connor Wigman in there. The play-action pass was effective. They were able to get things back on track and then force 6 straight punts after that in the second and third quarters.
Yeah, I know we're gonna talk about Connor Wigman. I don't want to steal your thunder, but I will say about Connor Wigman, it was impressive to see how they seemed to change the game plan so that he could be successful.
Yeah.
Talked about a young quarterback, first start in the conference. Getting him quick passes down the field was important.
Well, let's go back to Cole with the other quarterback, Cole.
Jackson, did you anticipate having to do as much work on the ground as you did yourself tonight?
Honestly, I really didn't. I came into this game a little banged up. Luckily for me, I have a great offensive line. A lot of those runs for me were, kind of broken down scrambles, and they were able to keep the pocket open for me, and I just was trying to take what they were giving me.
How do you even describe what you saw from Quinshon Judkins tonight?
I mean, he's the best, he's the best running back in the country. A lot of people don't know, but he should still be a senior in high school with how young he is. And he's just so impressive from the day he got here. And he continues to impress. And, I'm so excited for what's more to come for him.
There's a portion of this game looked like A&M had the opportunity to really slam the door shut and get this win. What were the conversations like on the sideline at halftime that allowed you to be able to battle back?
Yeah, never stress. We feel like we've done all the work that leads up to this point. We've worked our butts off, all off season and the season. So, when we get in those situations, that's the time that just challenges us to just stay together, stay composed, stay as a group, and ultimately we'll come through.
Yoda used the force tonight, huh?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jackson.
Yeah, thank you.
Dari, back to you.
Hey, Cole. Thank you very much. So, anyway, good road win. They're off now.